to then add additional players for the now, you're creating more of a gap between the haves and the have-nots. So I don't know if the players care.
I don't think they do either. The Dodgers found this loophole, and they're using it to the best of their ability, and they're actually taking insane advantage of this. Is causing a lot of owners around baseball to be like,
what's going on here?
That's not what we envisioned this to be.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour one, Jon and Jim. We have Holiday Bowl tickets to give away here today. Good guests lined up as well over the next 4 hours. The issue with the show today is Jim, which is oftentimes the issue with the show.
Hey.
You have allergies.
There's a problem.
And when you have allergies, it typically ruins everyone's day. And when they expand, this is the first time you've been dealing with allergy symptoms since we've gone from a 3-hour show to a 4-hour show, I think. And I didn't consider that when they were like, hey, will you do a 4-hour show? I should have said yeah and less. I'll do it if Jim isn't like sneezing. And
do you think they would have cared?
I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I really don't.
I don't either.
And I'm pretty sure we're working towards a 24-hour show beginning January 1st.
The conversation would have gone like this. Okay, well, the show starts at 2.
Right, a.m. He's going from 2 a.m. to 6 p.m.
I'm glad I'm over here.
I know. So he's got the sniffles and the sneezes. And Jim is the only person I've ever met.
Sandwich ingredients at a Subway.
Which is?
Because I got the glass so people can't breathe
That's
on me.
That's right. Jim is the only person I've ever met that has allergy symptoms for a day.
They're really weird.
He has allergy symptoms that he goes to sleep and he's fine the next day.
Like completely fine. I go into our boss's office today and she's like, "Are you sick?" I'm like, "No, allergies."
He's never been sick.
She's like,
always just
she's like, "Are you sure about that?" I'm like, "I know myself. I when I have these allergies, they just pop up out of nowhere. It's a disaster."
Here's my suggestion, and I'm dead serious. And if you want to take me up on this, I'm signing off on this.
Okay.
Hear me out. Go to like a performance studio. I'm serious.
Oh.
Take a nap.
Okay.
Take as long as you need. You need an hour. You need 2 hours. Come back in 3 or
3
4
hours and 57 minutes.
No, you need to come back by 5.
I'm not leaving the show.
Just go lie down.
You want me to leave the show?
I don't, but I feel my theory is if you go to sleep for 90 minutes, you'll be a completely new Jim.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I just got a little sniffles.
Yeah, little sniffles.
I feel okay. Now I just have to make sure that I don't get a sneezing attack. And then we're all good.
Right.
I feel like that's the same speech Jon gives to Jones when he wants him to take a nap because he's grumpy.
Just go take a nap for like an hour and a half and then come back and talk to me.
So what do we have here today? We've got tickets to give away for the Holiday Bowl. We have tickets to give away for the San Diego Seals, which is terrific, coming up. Is this right?
Yes.
How do we have tickets for the Seals for November 21st? Is it December?
I copied and pasted it, so it must have been.
Or is it next
November?
Coming up in 11 months. So let's take a look at
now.
that. And then do we have tickets to the San Diego Auto Show? We got great giveaways today. So we've got tickets to the auto show. We have tickets to see the Seals, presumably in December, not November. And we also have KGB Sky Show and Holiday Bowl tickets to give away. So there's a lot to get to. You mentioned off the top that Cody Bellinger has been traded. He moves from the Cubs to the Yankees. He moves for a reliever, by the way. And you're thinking, well, hold on. Hold on. The Padres could use an outfielder, right? The Padres could use an everyday outfielder that has the skill set of Cody Bellinger, but you're forgetting one key point.
Kind of a big point.
Padres fans, and it's the fact that he makes $27.5 million per year.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So, yeah, Yankees lost out on Juan Soto, and they've added all these players since losing out on Juan Soto, including Cody Bellinger today for essentially nothing. And yeah, if your initial reaction is like, well, hold on, we could have traded a reliever for Cody Bellinger. Well, yeah, if you had $30 million per year to pay him, but the Padres aren't in the business of paying anyone $30 million per year. They're already paying everyone $30 million per year, and it's created all these problems.
They might not be in the business of paying somebody $13 million a year.
Right.
That's where they're at right now. It just continue to wait. Wait.
What are we waiting for again? Are we waiting on Sasaki? Are we waiting on a cease trade? Are we waiting on Profar?
I mean, like everything that has been reported and that we have read, it feels like we're just waiting on Sasaki because the biggest domino and the biggest trade chip that you have is Dylan Cease.
Yes.
And if you trade Dylan Cease now with no insurances that you will land Roki Sasaki,
right?
That's just stupidity. That's a dumb
Is
way
that negligent to move Cease and not have any backfill?
Oh, absolutely. And today reported that the Cubs are heavily in the heavily in talks with the Marlins on Jesus Luzardo, a trade chip and a trade option that was mentioned last week by, I think it was Kevin, as an option for the Padres.
Yeah.
So like they're in a little bit of a tough spot that you got to wait for a player that you won't have the opportunity to sign for another, month here.
Yeah, 30 days.
Yet you're watching all these teams make moves around you, and you can't make a move until you find out what Sasaki's going to do. And then when you find out what Sasaki's going to do, then you can start making your moves. And then at that point, it's like the end of January, when potentially all the moves that you were thinking of making could have been made already.
I think it confirms or it further enhances the point that we made yesterday, which is like the 2025 Padres right now feel like a bit of a coin flip. Like, could Preller pull off another masterclass in acquisitions and waiver wire moves and savvy trades and build up a team that wins 90 games? Yeah, I could buy it. I think it's possible. But is there another scenario where the gap is only widened between yourself and the Dodgers? We know that. But what about moves that the Giants have made or moves that are happening around baseball? And this idea also that it only matters if it's a National League team. I don't buy any of that. I really don't. I mean, I think it matters if any team is getting better and you're not. Ultimately, you're going to have to go through everyone to get to where you want to go. I mean, the end goal with Manny Machado's tenure here isn't, well, we got to a World Series, but we lost. I mean, the end goal is to win it all. So, Yankees improving, Mets improving, Dodgers improving, Giants improving. You can't argue that the Padres have improved. Now, I probably would have said the same thing a year ago, and then Preller did some savvy moves. Profar, Cease, the Soto trade worked out. There were other moves on the edges that were terrific. The Peraltas, there were some terrific moves on the edges, obviously, a year ago. But are you going to do it again? Is every move he makes going to turn into gold like it did in 2024? Because if it doesn't, it feels like he has no margin.
Do you give him the benefit of the doubt this year? This offseason?
This offseason, in terms of I think he'll get it right, benefit of the doubt, or benefit of the doubt that if they go 86 and 76 and miss out on the postseason, he'll be back in 2026.
More or less the benefit of the doubt, knowing you now have an ownership group that is going to be very frugal with the money and not willing to maybe push some limits here. And by push limits, I mean maybe going over the CBT again, because the whole thing with last year was to what? Reset the CBT. And now you've reset it. So you don't want to go over that again if there's a move out there to make, like signing Jurickson Profar, bringing him back, giving a contract extension to Michael King, giving a contract extension to Luis Ariz.
No, it's not that I see your point. It's not that I give him the benefit of the doubt
if he doesn't succeed this upcoming year.
It's that I understand that there are conditions that are out of his control,
right?
And I would give him then.
That's what I mean.
Okay,
yeah, that's what I mean.
So yeah. Let's say they reverted to and they thought these up and down years not even. Let's say they went 82 and 80. They missed the season by 4 games. Let's say they moved down from AJ Preller. I don't think they would necessarily in that scenario. Let's say they would. I would actually probably take the defense of AJ Preller and be like, he was handcuffed. Look at what happened post Seidler. Look at how savvy he was in 2024. I think that was something to expect. They got rid of AJ Preller off mediocre 2025. So little leeway with moves, I'd probably come to his defense, and I'd be critical more of ownership than I would be of Preller.
Yeah, that's where I'm at now. Preller, again, I've criticized Preller a lot over the years, but that was with the blank check. And when you F up with the blank check, it's the person going out and buying the things that you blame, not the person that gave you the money to go do it. Now, we can argue about who was responsible for Xander Bogaerts. Was it Peter Seidler? Was it AJ Preller? Was it, who was it that decided that this was a good idea that has now really hurt this franchise here for the foreseeable future? We'll never know. But that's also water under the bridge. Now, going forward, what AJ was given last year was, again, parameters after the passing of Peter Seidler, that trading Juan Soto and not making any significant signings in the offseason. They got lucky with Jerkson Profar for $1 million. They traded damn near all their prospects to get Dylan Cease and Luis Ariz and Jason Adam and Tanner Scott, and it all turned out to be great. Now going into year 2 under this new regime and new philosophy and new parameters that AJ has to work with. Yeah, I'm on your side as far as if this turns out to be a bad season, and we have to see all the moves first.
Yeah, exactly.
But if they do end up trading Dylan Cease, if they do end up not going out and making any significant signings, if they don't bring back Jurickson Profar, if they make a low level trade for maybe an outfielder or a catcher or a starting pitcher, and they come back next year and they'd say they don't land Roki Sasaki, like doomsday scenario, and that situation happens, and you trade Dylan Cease. I don't know if that's gonna be the case, but yeah, I put that on ownership, making this really difficult for Preller to operate. Than Preller making these moves.
I never bought for 1 second and said it on the air. We could pull up the recording if we have it, which we don't. I never bought for 1 second they were trying to reset the CBT. Like, what does that even mean? Yeah,
that was the whole talking point, is resetting the CBT.
Which we never went for. I never recall saying, you know what, this Profar $1 million deal is all about them getting Cody Bellinger in 2025. No one ever said that. Nobody ever thought. I mean, anyone that was out there saying, you know what, they traded away Juan Soto, but they're going to get him back in free agency. Like, what were you thinking if you honestly felt that? Like, getting under the CBT wasn't to reset. Getting under the CBT is because their owner is no longer here. And they've got new, like you just used the P word, parameters to work with. It's trying to win cost effectively. We've heard AJ Preller say it. Like, they said the silent part out loud. Mike Schilt said the same thing. It's like, we want to win responsibly. That was AJ Preller's words. And then Mike Schultz said, we want to win within a set of parameters. That's different than we want to reset the CBT, because then we want to blow past it in 2025.
I don't know if blow past it was being talked about, but at least if there was a move out there that puts you past the CBT for a season, well, you could do that now because you quote unquote reset it after last year.
Why not have done it in 2024? You win 93 games. You get to within a game of beating the Dodgers, who win the division,
because they
don't
want
to go underneath it last year because of a
repeated tax.
I mean, that, okay. So again, that goes back to parameters.
Yeah. Now I don't like necessarily.
It's like about draft picks.
That too. But if you don't pay a tax on the CBT for a season, does that, if you go over the CBT the following season, do you have to
there's less penalty.
Less penalty, exactly.
Yeah, there's less penalty.
So that's what the thought was, is like, okay, you reset it this year. You don't have to pay that penalty because you would have been a repeat offender of it because of the 2023 season.
And 2022.
And 2022. And so now by doing that, if there's an opportunity in 2024 and you go over the CBT, you aren't taxed as heavily as you would have been if you went over CBT last year. So like you reset it. And that's why I'm like, so why can't you keep Dylan Cease, or why can't you try to figure out a contract extension with Michael King or Luis Ariz or what,
because they don't want to go over it.
I know
you know what I mean?
I know
like, I think it's less about resetting and more about they don't want to go over the CBT.
Yeah, they just don't want to pay any money, like any tax ever. And the Dylan Cease thing is the most interesting thing of the offseason now, because is he going to get traded? Is he going to stay? Is it the right move to trade him? Is it the right move to keep him and try to compete? What's going to happen with Roki Sasaki? If Roki Sasaki signs here, then probably you have to get rid of Dylan Cease. But what if Roki Sasaki doesn't sign here? Like, there's so many things here that's riding on Roki Sasaki. And unfortunately for AJ Preller and the Padres, you got to just wait this thing out until January 15th.
Wait it out, and you have no control. You could have the greatest pitch in baseball history. It's like, yeah, no thanks. I'd rather play for the Dodgers, and it happens in an instant. All right, should the Padres trade Dylan Cease? We'll get to that on the other side. You're actually going to hear from Ken Rosenthal on the other side on should the Orioles put together a trade package for Dylan Cease. So the latest on Dylan Cease, San Diego State's women's basketball coach Stacey Terry Hudson stops by at 2:30. The Aztecs are 10-1 on the season. She'll join us in less than 15 minutes. It's Jon and Jim. All right, Stacey Terry Hudson, San Diego State's women's basketball coach, will join us at 2:30. They are 10-1. They're hosting a tournament this weekend off to a best start in over 30 years. And she'll join us coming up in about 10 minutes. Now, there's a brand new iHeartRadio app we've been telling you about. If you haven't gone to the App Store and downloaded it yet, you should do it. If it's not yet available to you, it will be this week. Brand new, cool features, really unique. The number one audio app in America has gotten better, and it's available to you, if not right now, in the days coming up between now and Christmas.
Yeah, I was on a call today talking about all the new features of the app. It's like having your radio on your phone as far as like presets go, favorites. You can scan now local radio stations that are on the iHeart network wherever you're at. So like here in San Diego, if you're walking around and you wanted to scan the stations that are here in the building on iHeartRadio, easily can do it on the homepage there of the new iHeartRadio app. You can have presets set.
Listen to Jon and Jim.
You can absolutely listen to Jon and Jim.
There you go.
And the great thing is you can set now presets on the new iHeartRadio app. So you can have San Diego Sports 760 as your number one station presets go on the iHeartRadio app.
This
now.
is unbelievable.
It's
Download
amazing.
it. Download it. All right. Should the Padres trade Dylan Cease? This was from the Iconic Foul Territory podcast that Ken Rosenthal runs. Take a listen to this.
First of all, I don't know what their range is under their new ownership. It's impossible to say. They have taken over and they haven't done anything big yet. They haven't shown any hesitation on certain players like Tyler O'Neill, but at the same time, they've not gone here. Now, maybe they'll never go to that level, and this is still a small market team by baseball's definition. It's still a team that probably shouldn't be spending $250 million on Corbin Burnes based on their revenues, unless the owner decides he wants to do a little Steve Cohen. So I don't expect them to do Burnes, and I don't know that Mike Elias would advise them doing Burnes as he tries to manage the payroll, but there are other ways to go. Look at Cease, for example. Last offseason, they traded for Corbin Burnes. They traded Joey Ortiz, who looks like he's going to be a really good player, and DL Hall, who still has a chance to be a good pitcher, as well as the 34th pick. They still have enough to take a similar shot at Cease. It's a one-year thing, just like it was with Burnes, but they have players that they're not going to be able to play in the major leagues. There's too many of them, position prospects in particular. So I can see them going that route, and that would be okay. But as far as what the problem is with regard to the free agent market, I'm not exactly sure.
So he was talking about the Orioles there as far as a team that if they don't go out and get Corbin Burnes, then they could shift to get maybe Dylan Cease. And they have a ton of prospects in their organization that he says there that just probably won't get an opportunity to play at the big league level. So
that's not good. That's the new iHeartRadio app.
that's great. Keep it on. How about
You can meet Emily.
Perfect. Put it on. There you go.
It's good.
It's good. What are you listening to over there?
Aztecs locker room, San Diego State, Cal Baptist postgame. That's what I was listening to last.
I have an idea.
Let's air that tomorrow, 2 p.m.
Let's air that the rest of the week. How about we just air it right now?
I like that.
Screw it.
What were you saying?
I don't know. Were you listening?
Yeah, something about he was talking about the Orioles. And by the way, I hate the way he describes like the Orioles probably shouldn't be spending money like that. They're in a small market. Same thing he said about the Padres. Not good for baseball, but the deferrals at the Dodgers and the Mets and the Yankees. Give me a break. The thing is so broken, but we have to pretend like it's cool. Like if you speak out of turn on that, by the way, it's like pipe down. How dare you say what the Dodgers are doing isn't within the rules? Like, just figure it out. Figure it out, San Diego. Now, when San Diego goes out and gets Juan Soto via trade and then considers a $500 million contract, how could they do it? What about their sustainability model?
Well, I will say this to that whole argument. The Padres right now are proving that what they did.
Disagree.
How?
Peter Seidler's gone.
I think even without Peter Seidler, like you have an organization that could go out and spend money, but they choose not to.
Yeah, but with Peter Seidler, they did it with their actions in the small market and were told pipe down.
Right. He said, screw the model. I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
And I want to win for this fan base.
Right.
You're telling me that that this franchise right now couldn't do the same thing?
Well, that's the thing is it's not the same group anymore.
I know.
Any
That's not my
organization
question.
can,
That's not my question.
but any organization can.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Can.
Yes, can.
But a desire to do.
Right. That's different.
But also when they do it, they're looked at as these pariahs.
Yeah.
If the Padres went out right now and acquired Cody Bellinger, the Ken Rosenthal take would be like, man, I don't know. They're going to get under that CBT, and it's a problem. It's really a problem for that group. I've seen the revenues. Who cares? I've heard it a million times. The whole premise of that conversation about the Orioles is they don't have the money. It's not sustainable. They shouldn't. He used the word shouldn't. They shouldn't go out and get Corbin Burns because of their revenue. That's a stupid reason not to go out and get the best pitcher in baseball because of their revenues.
I know.
What other sport do we say? Oh, Green Bay, it's a small market. Oh, Memphis Grizzlies, small market. Vancouver Canucks, small market. No, you don't. But you do it in baseball repeatedly, over and over again. It's supposed to be normal because it's baseball.
I agree.
But the Seidler thing, I think, changes everything. I think if Seidler was here, this is not the path the Padres would be on. I don't know the path they'd be on, but the financial path they're on is different than the one they were on with Peter Seidler. And I can't be convinced otherwise. Stacey Terry Hudson will join us next.
Okay. This update's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Hot stove news. About an hour ago, reported by Jeff Passan, the Yankees traded for outfielder Cody Bellinger from the Chicago Cubs for a pitching prospect and money. And the NBA Cup final is tonight, Bucks and Thunder, 5:30 tip time in Las Vegas. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
All right, always great to connect with Stacey Terry Hudson. She's doing a great job right now with San Diego State's women's basketball team. They're off to their best start since 1988-89. They're 10-1. They're hosting Stephen F. Austin Thursday and Hawaii Saturday. This is part of a 6-team event, the San Diego Classic. So hopefully you can get out there this weekend. But, Coach, it was good to see you earlier at Viejas Arena. We appreciate you hopping on right now. Tell us about, before we get to this weekend, tell us about the start to the season, 10-1 overall. You got to be thrilled with where you are right now, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, we're excited about where we are, but obviously the goal is to continue to improve and prepare for our conference slate of games, and just happy to be getting better and learning with this group.
Some news that came out, I think maybe 2 weeks ago or so. Your husband is on your staff. How's that gone? And how did that come about?
Yeah, so my husband, Justin Hudson, who I'm sure a lot of your listeners are familiar with, who was on our men's staff and formerly the head coach at Fresno State, came back, and, we decided that it would be a great opportunity for us to work together and stay in the same city for a little bit longer. And so he's been a great addition to our staff. Excited to have him. He's such a good teacher, and is able to break down the game and in a really easy way for our young ladies to understand. And he's just been a really great addition to an already stacked staff. So excited to have him back.
So how does that go, like, off the court? Like, I'm the boss to your husband. Like, if anything, you guys get in an argument, like, hey, whoa, I'm your boss. Like, what are we doing here? Like, hey, you're running drills tomorrow. Like, how does that work? That dynamic off the court?
It's been good so far. We've had a lot of discussions prior to this coming into fruition. So we kind of talked through all of the potential issues that may occur, but so far so good. And how I do things, and if you're around our program, you would know that it's a really, really collaborative effort with our staff and our kids, and we're all just a big think tank, and we're all trying to get better together. So it's really worked out nice, just having him around, and I'm learning every day, not only from him but from my entire staff.
By the way, women's basketball holiday packs are available right now. GoAztecs.com. You can see 5 days of basketball, including the San Diego Classic. Couple of upcoming games at home at Viejas against Boise State and New Mexico for just $20. So check that out at GoAztecs.com. Let's talk about what you have coming up this weekend, specifically Stephen F. Austin and Hawaii. You're off to a 10-1 start, but metrically, Stephen F. Austin has had a similar year. What are your expectations for the games you have this weekend?
It's going to be a hard-fought weekend. Stephen F. Austin does a really great job. If you look at their metrics and in synergy, they're very good on both sides of the ball, both offensively and defensively. So we're going to have our work cut out for us. They do a good job of changing their defenses, makes and misses, play some zone, play some man. So we're going to have to be on the top of our game. It should be a really entertaining game, and it's going to be really fun. And then Hawaii does a great job. She's done a great job out there, and she's coming to San Diego expecting to get some wins. So we got to be on our A game. Well, like you said, we play Thursday at 3:30 and Saturday at 3:30. So they should be 2 really, really fun games to watch.
We've had you on a couple times during or after this was announced, the announcement of San Diego State Athletics heading to the Pac-12 conference, but I don't think we've asked you about it. For you, what does it mean to move to the Pac-12 for women's basketball?
I'm just excited for the Pac-12 and rebuilding such a really, really rich women's basketball league. I was part of that when I was an assistant at UCLA, so I know firsthand how good it can be. It's going to look a little different, obviously, because with some of those other schools departing for other conferences, but I'm excited to be a part of this rebirth of a really good league. And, there's going to be some great competition, and it's going to elevate all of us, and just excited to be a part of this process.
Stacey Terry Hudson is with us right now, San Diego State's women's basketball coach, again off to a 10-1 start, their best start since 1988-89. Now, I've asked you about this before, and we spoke on it actually earlier at Viejas, but the role of NIL in women's basketball. We talk a lot about the importance of the Mesa Foundation and the collective on the men's basketball side. I think a lot of our listeners are familiar with like the Players Aero Festival and the NIL dollars that's raised for the men's basketball team. How crucial is Mesa and NIL for the women's basketball team as well?
It's really becoming a big part of what we do. This year, I think, is the first year that we've really kind of lost some kids to maybe some bigger paydays. So we definitely need the help. I'm excited for this opportunity as far as like the player era for the women to come, but we're a couple of years away from being able to play in those situations. So we're still doing it the old fashioned way and fundraising and getting the word out, and it's a really great opportunity for our community to get behind our program, and a little goes a long way. We're not asking for what the men need to be successful. We just need, a little bit of support so we can stay, on par with the rest of the conference and being able to be competitive. So we're excited about what we're doing on the court, but we definitely need to build that collective and build the support as far as supporting us in all areas of the program, because it's going to be essential for us to continue what we've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Stacey, you have a good mix of veterans and, young freshmen on the team, but you do play a lot of freshmen. How important have those players been to your success so far this year?
They've been huge. And in recruiting, we never guarantee anything, but we always talk about how the game doesn't know your age. If you work hard and you're ready for it to step into those roles, I have no problem playing freshmen. So our superpower has been our depth, and we have 4 freshmen that play significant minutes for freshmen. And we're excited about that because we want them to be a big piece of what we do moving forward. So I want them to gain that experience and be comfortable on the floor. And with the mix of, like you said, the veterans and our transfers, we've really had a great, a team, being able to go 10, 11 deep in multiple games.
Stacey, Terry Hudson is with us, head coach of the Aztecs women's basketball team. What are your expectations for the Mountain West overall this year?
It's a great question. I'm really excited about the Mountain West. You cover our men, and you understand the how hard the travel and the road games are. And, it's the same for us playing at altitude, and the travel, it can get gruesome throughout the year. And, we're really excited that we've been able to have some early success on the road this year. We did that on purpose to be able to go out and play. We've had 4 true road wins, which is really exciting for us to build on. But we're doing that so we can prepare ourselves for, a game at UNLV, a game at New Mexico, a game at Wyoming, because those are going to be the true test, being able to beat quality teams on their home floor. So it's going to be a dogfight night in and night out. And the one thing I will say about our league this year is that everyone's really doing what they need to do in the non-conference. So it'll be a really competitive conference season, similar to what you saw, I think it was 2 years ago, where everybody on the men's side had elevated their non-conference play and they were coming in with winning records. Quite a few of us are doing the same in the Mountain West this year. So it's gonna make for a really fun season.
Before you go, Coach, do I have this right? Asia Avenger, who kind of started on your program as a younger player out of California. She's now at Georgia, and Georgia's part of this event coming up this weekend. What's that dynamic or relationship like with players that transfer out, because it's just a part of the college basketball landscape and just college athletic landscape right now?
It is, and it's a rare thing for us to lose young ladies. We've been very blessed to be able to keep our kids in our program, but I know that's not going to be the case all the time. And, and Asia played for us and really started off, really doing a great job, and we were happy with her development, but she found another opportunity, and it was a good situation for her. But I will tell you this, there's no hard feelings with kids that leave. I recruit kids, and I tell them it's a lifetime commitment. This is something that I want to be a part of their growth. We talk actually quite a bit. So I'm excited to see her play and support, the Bulldogs, the Georgia Bulldogs. And it'll be fun to have her back in our arena. We're excited about it.
All right. So get out this weekend. Again, this event going on beginning Thursday at Viejas Arena, 6-team event, the San Diego Classic. Tickets available right now at goaztecs.com. And again, holiday packs for 5 different days of women's basketball in San Diego, starting at just $20 a piece. And Coach, we appreciate you taking time. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll catch up with you again in 2025. All right.
Sounds great. Looking forward to see you all come out and support. All
right. So out at Viejas Arena, again, San Diego State women's basketball beginning Thursday, and then again on Saturday. On the other side, we have a Major League Baseball play of the year. All right.
Play of the year.
Think about all the great moments in
Yeah.
baseball this year. And there
Right.
were a number of them, some involving the San Diego Padres, in fact.
Singular play. Like, what's the best play of the season?
What was the best play of the season, regular or postseason? MLB has weighed in.
They have done a countdown, and they've revealed the number one play this year.
We'll share it with you on the other side. This is Jon and Jim. dumb take by Jason McIntyre.
The inside the NBA crew has ruined the game.
It's amazing. If not for the inside the NBA crew, give me a reason to be watching in November and December.
No, I watch Inside the NBA because they're funny and because it's a really good show, not because they're trashing on the teams.
I kind of
Them
watch it
being
for that
funny,
too.
them being funny about the players and teams has had
yeah.
no negative impact ever on any NBA game in the history of their live coverage.
In a way, I tune into that like I used to tune into Sports Center as a kid, to
Yeah,
where
that's
I
a good
might
point.
not even watch the games. I'll just watch the post game show.
Right.
If anything, they're bringing to light like, hey guys, this needs to be better. This product right now sucks. Like, come on.
What time's this game tonight?
5:30.
Who's playing?
Guess.
Bucks Thunder.
There you go.
You said it, right?
Yeah, I've said it multiple
you said-
times,
okay. Yeah, Bucks Thunder. Okay. Honestly, it's probably they're actually good teams.
But
does anyone?
Is it on ESPN or Max?
No, it's on
TNT?
TNT.
Hold on.
Oh, good. Then that
StubHub
means it'll
right
be on
now.
Max.
StubHub NBA Cup tonight, 5:30 in Las Vegas. Get-in price is $50, so you get it for
that's-
$50.
that's
I mean,
pretty
shoot,
good.
we saw Team USA for like hundreds of dollars. I mean,
Right. We
you
had
just
standing room
walk
only.
in.
Do you think
Yeah.
Team USA is better than the Bucks and the
Yeah, that's what we
Thunder?
were saying.
I think so.
All right, MLB plays of the year. Speaking
Yes.
of dumb, their top play of the year isn't even a play.
Hold
it's
on.
the day.
Let me give the plays they have.
Okay.
All right. So, hold on. The number 2 play, all right, was the Freddie Freeman walk-off home run against the Yankees
Game 1 of the World Series.
in Game 1 of the World Series.
Kind of Kirk Gibson-esque.
Right. Number 3 was this wasn't even it was a play. Shohei Ohtani's walk-off grand slam for the Dodgers to get to 40-40 in the year.
Okay.
All right. Then the number 4 play was Michael Harris robbing a home run.
Great. Where's the triple play from the Padres?
I don't think it's top 10.
Really?
I'm like dead serious.
You know, they
yeah.
happen all the time. So.
Yeah, especially to clinch a playoff spot.
Right. Yeah. So number 5 was Pete Alonso's go-ahead 3-run homer in the NLDS
Yeah,
against the
I remember
Brewers.
that, yeah.
That is an amazing moment for sure. Great play. So those are the top 5. You got Pete Alonso. You got guy robbing a home run. You got Shohei's 40th home run, grand slam. And then you have Freddie Freeman's walk-off home run in the World Series.
And then play number 1, which is, first of all, not a play. And secondly, is nowhere near comparable to hitting a walk-off home run in a World Series game, especially for an eventual World Series winner. Play number 1 of 2024, quote unquote, one-of-a-kind player, one-of-a-kind season. Shohei Ohtani goes 6 for 6, 3 homers, 2 steals, 10 runs batted in, and records the first 50-50 season in Major League Baseball history. That's not a play. It was some random game against the Marlins. He's teeing off against position players. There's 21,000 people in the building. It's a completely meaningless game for Miami. And he went 6 for 6, which, again, is impressive. Make no mistake. And the 50-50 thing is legitimate, even if we've discounted it to some extent. But you can't tell me that this game is more meaningful than a walk-off home run in Game 1 of the World Series.
The Padres triple play to clinch a playoff spot at Dodger Stadium.
Number 8.
Came at number 7.
Oh, that's not bad.
At least they made the top 10. But I agree. The glazing of Shohei Ohtani continues for Major League Baseball. Like the final home run he hit was off of like a second baseman. It was a position player. That doesn't even count. I'm sorry. It doesn't count. It is the definition of stat padding. So Shohei Ohtani's stat padding against a position player was a better moment than the walk-off home run in the World Series by Freddie Freeman against the Yankees?
Well, no way.
No chance.
But now they're combining all of the 6 hits, I guess, as the play of the year. I mean, is there a more impactful day than a 6 for 6? Yeah, game 1 of the World Series. I mean, the amount of attention on that random Marlins Dodgers game nationally that was played in the afternoon. We were watching it. It was in Miami. It was probably at 4 in the afternoon Pacific, if that. Probably started at like 10 a.m.
Yeah,
Like nobody was watching. It was on MLB Network.
no one was watching.
Compare that to game 1 of the World Series, or to your point, the Padres triple play to clinch a playoff spot, which will never be done again.
Yeah.
And it never had previously been done. That's not the 7th best moment.
Pete Alonso go ahead 300 home run in the NLDS.
Move that up.
Or the wild card round, right? Yeah, the wild card round.
Move that up.
Move that up. That random robbery home run by Michael Harris.
Move that down.
That's got to go.
Yep.
Shohei Ohtani's grand slam to get 40-40. Okay, top 10. But
where'd they put Ohtani not signing autographs for that kid that caught a home run ball in LA? Is that top 10 also?
That came in actually number 11.
Hey, I hit my first home run. I didn't sign anything for you and left. Everything was Ohtani.
Yeah. And
I had a nice year.
Yeah, okay year. It just, they have created this 50-50 and made it the greatest accomplishment in the history of baseball.
100%.
Like, it's really not. He led the league in one offensive category. One. That was it. So, and he didn't even have the best season in baseball. So I tend to just look at this as Major League Baseball once again continues to, I'll say the word, glaze over Shohei Ohtani at every chance they possibly can get.
It's all, I mean, when I say it's all they got, that's a disservice because, I mean, listen, there's a ton of people that love it. I mean, in San Diego, the Padres are obviously huge. We cover the Padres as much as anyone in the city. We couldn't spend more time talking about the San Diego Padres. But, I mean, they know what butters the bread, man. Shohei Ohtani is the marketing vehicle for Major League Baseball to even be on any playing field with a sport like the NBA or the NFL. Like anywhere near the field. I'm not saying it's the NBA or the NFL, but to compare some of these global stars in the NBA, Steph Curry would be an example, or LeBron James, or the popularity of the NFL, more specifically in the U.S. than elsewhere. To even be in the conversation, you can't get there without Shohei Ohtani. He's the only way. Nobody's going to be like, oh, remember when Robert Suarez was on the mound for that triple? Nobody knows who Robert Suarez is. They do here. But Robert Suarez isn't resonating like Shohei Ohtani. Like Shohei Ohtani's on the LeBron James, Patrick Mahomes, mega star platform that he's the only one in the entire sport, though. There's nobody that compares. No one.
He's an amazing player.
Zip.
He's an amazing player. Call me a hater. That's fine.
You're a
I
hater.
just don't, I just, whatever. I mean, Shohei just doesn't do it for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Am I a giant hater? Yeah. He's an amazing player. Absolutely. But I just find him completely disingenuous. I kind of find him fake, honestly. I think the whole thing with him and his interpreter and the whole betting stuff at the beginning of the season just was a massive turnoff for me. And the fact that, this whole thing when it happened was like, oh, poor Shohei. And it's like, guys, use your freaking heads here and common sense. This makes no sense. It just was a complete, and he's also a Dodger. So that's like the cherry on the top for me. But hey, amazing player. Other than that, whatever.
Yeah, amazing. That was good. That was a good compliment. All right. On the other side, to kick off hour 2, the biggest coaching move of the offseason in college football is not Bill Belichick. We've got the latest, and we'll explain on the other side. Plus, Aztecs in the transfer portal looking at quarterbacks. We have the latest there. A busy week on the Mesa as well to kick off hour 2 of Jon and Jim next.
This update's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Hot stove news in baseball today. The Yankees traded for outfielder Cody Bellinger from the Chicago Cubs for a prospect and cash. And the NBA Cup final is tonight in Las Vegas. Bucks and Thunder. Tip time is at 5:30. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options and an easy-to-use mobile app. Personalized discounts and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
It's Jon and Jim to warm up that drive home.
The players won't sign off on capping spending.
Nope.
And the owners don't want to necessarily cap it either. I mean, yeah, there's a group of owners that do, but they're going to outweigh the demands of Steve Cohen and the Dodger ownership group and the Yankees and the Reds. I don't see that.
If you had majority, so you
Yeah.
had 16 that were dead fast on getting a salary cap,
Right.
then you're having a lockout for a while because that will never happen.
Well, not with the players union.
Exactly.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. We do have a lot of giveaways today. Holiday Bowl tickets to see the San Diego Seals December 21st at Pechanga Arena. We also have tickets to the San Diego International Auto Show. So we'll give away Seals tickets this hour. We also have Will Brinson, who will join us from CBS Sports at 4 p.m. Dave Velasquez, longtime Aztec men's basketball assistant. He'll join us coming up at 4:30. I mentioned that the biggest coaching hire or most surprising coaching hire of the offseason previously was Bill Belichick. I don't think it currently is Norfolk State in FCS football in the MEAC conference has gone out and hired Michael Vick, who has essentially never coached. I think he was a part of the AAF briefly for like 2 weeks is the way I recall it, when the AAF existed for roughly 2 weeks. But Michael Vick, who was a brilliant player at Virginia Tech, really good NFL player. You may know about the run-in with the law. He was in federal prison at one point, but now is a 44-year-old is coming out of the media work he's done, I guess, with Fox over the last few years to coach at Norfolk State. Is this going to be Deion 2.0, where you go from Jackson State to Colorado and 2 years later you got a Heisman candidate? Or is this a tougher job for Michael Vick than the one that Deion Sanders had 5 years ago or whatever it was?
By the way, I have no idea where Norfolk State is.
So, well, it's not a steakhouse.
Norfolk State. That's hard to say.
Okay, well,
That's because it's Norfolk.
do you know what
Norfolk?
state it is in?
Norfolk State. Did I
Yeah.
say it?
Yeah.
I thought it was Norfolk.
You kind of say it like the curse. Norfolk. If you're from there, you say it like the curse.
Norfolk.
Norfolk.
Ooh, that's tough. That's
You have never heard of Norfolk?
nope.
Do you think it's in America?
Yes. Yes.
Do you think it's a
It's
state?
in Portugal.
Is it one of the 50 states?
It's not one of the 50 states.
Correct.
No.
So if you had to guess, use your brain. Think of Michael Vick. Now make an educated guess.
Or just a guess.
No, use your brain. Michael Vick.
Is it in Georgia?
You're an idiot. Here's the thing.
Well, I don't-
Michael Vick starred at,
Virginia Tech?
correct, played in the national championship game at Virginia Tech. And Norfolk is in Virginia,
Virginia.
which is where he's from.
See, I was thinking NFL with the Falcons.
Nope, different teams. Falcons and Norfolk State Spartans, different.
We kept saying Michael Vick, and I was like, I don't know.
When I think of Michael Vick, I think about Virginia Tech. I get it. I guess people think Falcons or Eagles, Steelers. And he played for some good coaches. I mean, he played for Andy Reid. He played for Frank Beamer. He played in the national championship. Do you think he will be successful? Hard to know.
Yeah, I mean,
Would we have said Deion Sanders would be
sure. I
successful?
don't know. I have no idea. I think Deion has something that Michael Vick doesn't, which is like charisma.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree with that.
you need to kind of have a little oomph when you're a college football head coach, especially with recruiting and the transfer portal. I mean, not to say Michael Vick doesn't have that, but I mean, it's interesting. I don't know.
It's interesting.
I don't know if Michael Vick's going to follow the path of Deion. But you never know.
Never coached, taking over at a spot that never wins. To me, I don't see the same path to Dion. I don't. I think Dion is a little bit of lightning in a bottle, and I think a little bit of a unique case. I don't think that former players automatically will take an FCS program to heights they hadn't previously reached and then get a high-level FBS job. Like, what Dion has done is impressive. I don't think that means that it's easily, like, replicatable, I guess, so to speak. All right, San Diego State. So I sent this article to you last night, and I just had it up, and now I lost it. So they have multiple quarterbacks that are supposedly visiting this week. This is from Kirk Kenney at the UT. We know transfer portal. Obviously, Danny O'Neal was in the portal. He committed to Wisconsin. Here are the names, according to Kirk Kenney, that are visiting San Diego State this week. All right. You have Bert Emanuel Jr., who we never touched on air, but you didn't know who Bert Emanuel was, his dad. Like, longtime NFL player. Guy was great. You've never heard of him.
Keep talking about how great he is, John.
He had a nice career in the NFL.
Me
and Brett knew who he was.
You looked at me like my head was like severed from my body that I didn't know who Bert Emanuel was.
Good player.
You said, "Hey, do you know who this guy is?" I'm like, "Who's that?" Bert
Right.
Emanuel.
And then we like freaked out.
And you're like, "You don't know who Bert Emanuel is?" And I'm like, "Should I?" He's like, "He was an amazing player."
70470, start it with team or put it in the chat. Just yes or no, you know who Bert Emanuel is. Yes or no, Bert Emanuel.
I feel like I watch a lot of football. I'm sorry, Bert. I have not heard ever of Bert Emanuel until you brought him up to me as basically the greatest player in the history of the sport, right behind like Jerry Rice.
There goes the credibility of our show. Hey, we do a sports show, and this guy's never heard of Bert Emanuel.
What, am I supposed to?
Have you heard of
Look,
Babe Ruth?
If his son decides to come to San Diego State, we'll become the biggest Bert Emanuel fans on the planet.
I already am.
I know you are.
They played Central Michigan last year. He was at Central Michigan. I met his dad. His dad was terrific. Anyway, Bert Emanuel's son, Bert Emanuel Jr., is supposedly visiting San Diego State.
Oh, great. Everybody knows who Bert Emanuel is.
Everyone knows who Bert Emanuel
Except
is,
for me.
Dude. Were you locked in like some closet as a child? Where were you?
I was playing outside.
That was the problem. That's exactly right.
With my Power Ranger toys.
That's exactly the problem.
Yeah.
Jim thought it was Ernie's roommate.
Hey, Bert and Ernie.
Yeah, exactly. The other quarterback to visit this week, according to Kirk Kenney, is Jaden Denegal, who is a Michigan transfer. He spent 3 years at Michigan, was briefly on field for the Wolverines. I think he did actually get on field the year they won the national championship.
He did. So I watched his highlight tape last night, and it was about 1:30 long.
He's a big dude. He's dual threat. He can run and throw. He's out of Los Angeles area. So Jaden Denegal visiting this week, and Bert Emanuel Jr., Central Michigan. He's been more of a runner than a thrower to this point in his career, both visiting this week. Again, Danny O'Neal is off to Wisconsin. Any thoughts on these two visitors? Did you watch the film?
Oh, yeah. I watched the film. I'm an expert on these guys.
Right.
Be nice to land one of them, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you got a couple quarterbacks, you got wide receiver. You know, you need weapons, and obviously you need a quarterback to throw to those weapons. So landing one of these guys, I think, would be really good. Landing multiple of these guys would be fantastic. I mean, hell, if they all said they want to come here, then home run, slam dunk, whatever you want to call it. But
it was only two.
Well, I was
quarterbacks, right?
Two quarterbacks.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, look, they need a quarterback, and I think that by the end of the year, I suspect that they will land one.
Right, like we said yesterday, we think they'll have one.
I think they'll have someone throwing the football
right
during the games.
Now, will it be either Jaden Denegal, who again spent, I think, 3 years at Michigan? It might have been 2. And then again, Bert Emanuel Jr., who spent multiple years also at Central Michigan. He's been banged up though in his career. And then again, you compare him to a Danny. It's gonna be hard to compare to Danny. I mean, Danny was a true freshman. These guys have more experience, it's hard to know until you see him on the field, is my point. Like AJ Duffy had more college experience than Danny O'Neal, but AJ Duffy didn't see the field in 2024.
And I for sure thought that AJ Duffy was going to be QB1 last year.
Right.
I just thought that, year one, Sean Lewis is going to want to go with a little bit of a veteran presence at quarterback. But, he recruited Danny O'Neal heavily at Colorado. He committed to Colorado. And then decommitting from Colorado and following Sean Lewis, I think was a big commitment for Danny, and it showed Sean Lewis that commitment, obviously, and he rewarded. Now, again, Danny had to earn that spot, but he got plenty of fair opportunities to get it, and he won it, and he played almost every single game.
Yeah, other than one game. The game that didn't start, he was hurt. Javance Johnson started. I have thought about the idea, and I have no idea. Like, if you're Javance and Danny O'Neill leaves and you're in the portal too, would you consider coming back? I don't know. I have no inside knowledge on that. He spent 2 years at San Diego State, 1 year under Brady Hoke, 1 year under Sean Lewis. But again, a couple of visitors on campus. It's already been active in the portal for Sean Lewis. I think he's landed 6 or 7 players in the last week. We'll have another handful of visitors this weekend as well, and these quarterbacks visiting throughout the course of the week and weekend too.
I would rather Lewis go out and get his own quarterback.
Because he was already here, you're saying, and wasn't by Sean.
And slight, but watching Vance Johnson play, I don't know. Didn't really see much.
Small sample.
Small sample size,
one
but
start.
I was like,
one game.
Yeah.
Never had played.
And then it was against Cal. It was tough.
Yeah, it's not the easiest game, but
Cal didn't turn out to be like some like national powerhouse either.
They're in a bowl game.
And I just didn't see it in that game. I mean, that Cal game was really bad. I remember that.
I mean, 7-0 at the half or something.
They got boat raced in the second half, and the offense did nothing.
So you're saying right off Javance Johnson based on the one Cal start?
I mean, look, it's hard because you don't get much time. You don't get an opportunity to like ease your way into things, and they got to win. So the only real tape that you have is of Javance Johnson was like that Cal game when he got the start, and I just didn't see it. So I think it's better to go out and get your own quarterback instead of trying to hope that Javance Johnson would return.
All right, on the other side, again, we have tickets to give away to see the San Diego Seals coming up in just a couple of days at Pechanga Arena. Plus, what do the players think of the new NBA All-Star game? Okay, which we haven't even discussed much here on Jon and Jim because it's too easy to kind of rip into. But what do the players think of the new NBA All-Star game? You'll hear from one on the other side. We're here until 6. It's Jon and Jim. All right, Aztecs Cal. This will be at San Jose on Saturday night. Pre-game coverage at 6:30. Ted's got the call around 7:30. You're home of the Aztecs. San Diego Sports 760. Dave Velasquez will join us coming up at 4:30.
Why are they playing in San Jose?
You want to know why?
No, I just asked you.
What's happening? Okay. Why are the Aztecs playing Cal in San Jose? Well, last year they played in San Juan Capistrano. So the long and the short of it is that was like a Southern California neutral game, and this is a Northern California neutral game. Okay. I look, they have Aztecs listed as the home team, so that's why I thought they played. Right. It's a doubleheader. Stanford's playing Oregon, San Diego State's playing Cal, home of the Sharks.
Yes.
And San Jose on Saturday night. Now, also in Northern California, coming up early 2025. Get ready, San Francisco. It's the 2025 NBA All-Star Game. Coming to the Bay Area with all the excitement of 4 All-Star teams, one of which is comprised of the Rising Stars team, and then 3 other teams of 8. And they'll play 3 games in San Francisco, first to 40. And I want no part of it. None. Now, was it dumb or bad previously with 400 combined points last year? Maybe. So maybe it needed to be tweaked. And what are they doing in the NFL? Flag football. But we went from an all-star game that's played for 50-plus years, East-West and all the other variations, to 4 teams, one of which is Rising Stars, first to 40. And I'm supposed to be like, can't wait to get my tickets to the Chase Center for that one.
So here is the official breakdown of All-Star weekend or the All-Star game. So it's, mini tournament, 3 teams of NBA All-Stars. Team has 8 players on each. And the 4th team, like you said, will be the Rising Stars champion. Each game will be played to a final target score of 40 points.
So each game will be 2 seconds long.
The championship team gets $125,000 per player. The second place team gets $50,000 per player. The third and fourth place team gets $25,000 per player, a $1.8 million prize pool. Chuck, Shaq, Kenny will each be GMs of NBA All-Stars. Candace Parker will be the GM of the Rising Stars champion. Head coach and assistant coach of top East and West teams to coach the 4 teams. All-Star voting begins Thursday.
So tell me again why it's...
I'm so confused.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're going to buy... Like, if I'm a fan, and I'm like, man, that sounds incredible. I'm going to get to see a team of 8 take on the Rising Stars first to 40. Well, that doesn't sound incredible.
Well, Kevin Durant, who will be there at All-Star weekend.
You think he'll get in?
I think he'll get in.
Doing what?
Something.
Rising Star?
Probably. He's a good young player. I like him a lot. He might have a career.
He's got a future ahead of him.
Yeah. He said this about the new NBA All-Star format.
Is it like 4 different teams?
Yeah, 4 teams, 6 players each. I think they're drafted by like Kenny and Shaq and Chuck, and then it's like a tournament style first to 40 points.
I hate it. Absolutely hate it. It's terrible. All-Star game, formats changing, all the formats terrible in my opinion. And we should just go back to East-West and just play a game. I think we've been trying to bring that flair back somehow with the All-Star weekend, but I think we just keep it traditional. But we'll see how this one works. You never know. I might be wrong. I'm just another guy with an opinion, but we'll see how it works.
He's right. It's stupid. It's going to be one of those things that is, I think, going to confuse the consumer. And when you have something that confuses the consumer, you've already lost. People are going to tune in and have no idea what's going on. And every 2 seconds, the announcers are going to have to explain to the audience what is happening. I find that to be just an awful way of doing things.
Why would this format increase? Because what the commissioner didn't like is they go up and down, slams and dunks. Why would this format change that from occurring?
Because they put some money on it.
They already tried bribing him before it didn't work. What pisses me off about this whole thing is, hey, Commish, I know you're a big listener. there's nothing wrong with the game. The problem was the effort you were getting from the players that played in the game. The East versus West, there was nothing wrong with that. Everyone got sick of it when it just turned into, the equivalent of if me and Jim were playing one-on-one and we just let each other walk by and shoot layups and you didn't play any defense. Nobody wants to watch that. So the game itself wasn't the problem. Same with them trying to add all this gimmicky crap to All-Star Saturday night. You know what would, get people to watch it again? Stop having G League guys do the slam dunk contest. Get actual superstars to, compete in these events instead of just G League guys that nobody heard of.
I don't know how you get it back. I mean,
you have
without the players' help, they're not going to get it back because it's all in the players.
Yeah.
They don't want to try. There's nothing Silver can do. He's tried bribing them. They've tried all these hokey formats. If they're not going to try, they're not going to try.
Yeah, you got these players that think they're too good for this stuff and they don't want to do it, and they're giving no help to the NBA. And a lot of these guys are about themselves. And so instead of going out there and competing in a slam dunk contest or whatever it is, they're like, nah, I don't want to do it unless I get paid. Like, what? That wasn't how it was, like,
right.
Back in the day.
I don't think there's a real solution. It's like the NFL Pro Bowl. You're not going to get it back. The Major League Baseball All-Star game.
At least you
right.
But
it's
at least you have
game.
A pitcher going full speed.
Yeah, they try in the MLB All-Star game.
Yeah.
They've had the same issues in the NHL All-Star game with the way they split teams in various formats. And I don't know, can we maybe move? Like, is it so part of the DNA of these leagues that you have to have them? Expand the NBA Cup. What do I care? Play an extra.
Well, that's not like fixing anything.
Yeah, but they didn't fit. What the NFL said was, you know what? We're just going to get rid of it. Which is what they did, right?
They got rid of it. Yeah. But it was after their season, and it didn't really bring much other than just like, hey, we get this random Sunday before the Super Bowl that we're going to beat everybody in ratings. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, it didn't bring anything to the table. I think
is this bringing it? I mean,
and I don't remember the Pro Bowl ever being like this prestigious thing that, like, the NBA All-Star game.
Bro, the Pro Bowl runs
back
circles around the NBA All-Star game in ratings.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about ratings.
Well, but how are we judging prestige?
I'm talking about like the NBA All-Star game, some of the best moments, like you could go to the NBA All-Star game and looking at. The Pro Bowl, you're like, like, give me a moment that you remember from the Pro Bowl.
I mean, I'm just saying, no one remembers anything from the Pro Bowl, just like nobody remembers anything from last year's NBA All-Star game.
Not last year's NBA All-Star game, but
besides the Magic Johnson shot, what is your All-Star memory?
I think when Michael Jordan in his final All-Star game hit the shot to go ahead, and then Kobe Bryant went down, and he ended up hitting the game winner instead. Also, the 1998 All-Star game in New York, where if you go back and watch that, or no, not 1998, was it? It was, what was it, 99? I think it was in New York, and it might have been 98. And that All-Star game was incredible. You had like the final 2 minutes of that game, 4 minutes of that game was like they were going back and forth. And you had Duncan and Kevin Garnett and Kobe and Allen Iverson and Vince Carter. And
well, those players still exist.
I know, but they all were like giving a crap, and they were all playing their ass off down the stretch.
So you're saying that we'll miss it if it's gone?
I don't think we'll miss it. I think people won't care anyway. I just think that, like, it's sad to see that the NBA All-Star game has gone to this level.
All right, Will Brinson will join us coming up at 4 p.m. We have San Diego Seals tickets to give away later this hour. We're keeping our eye on the hot stove in Major League Baseball. Dave Velasquez, San Diego State men's basketball assistant, will join us at 4:30. It's Jon and Jim.
This update brought to you by Progressive Insurance. The NBA Cup is tonight, the final of the NBA Cup. 5:30 tip time in Las Vegas between the Bucks and the Thunder. And hot stove news of the day: the Yankees made a big-time trade for outfielder Cody Bellinger from the Chicago Cubs for a prospect and money in return. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
AM radio keeps voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we need your help. Text AM 52886 now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell a member of Congress to pass legislation now. Keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates apply. Do you believe it? Full confidence in Carson Wentz if Patrick Mahomes is unavailable to start Saturday against the Houston Texans. Now, they expect Mahomes to play, but if he doesn't, we have full confidence in Carson. If he has to step in and play, then I think everybody, coaches and players, has full confidence that he can go in and do a nice job. That's Andy Reid on Carson Wentz.
Now, wasn't Mahomes a full participant today in practice?
I wasn't there. Maybe.
What voodoo magic do they have with that training staff? Because
I thought high ankle is like 6 weeks.
What?
Or 6 hours.
They got the ghost of Mr. Miyagi, and they're doing the
slap
thing.
There we go. Get ready.
He's gonna fix him like he fixed Daniel.
He is now fixed. No, I don't believe him. But what's he gonna say? We're screwed.
Yeah. So he did practice Tuesday. Chiefs are 13-1.
They could lock up the number 1 seed this weekend too,
with a win and who losing?
A Buffalo loss.
All right. So okay, they'll need help to do that, but they could do it, which means they could do it under their own power. I mean, before the 17th game of the year, if they win their next 2 games.
What's the standings right now? So, playoff. Yeah, dude. Kansas City. Now they have only a 1-game lead, even though it's
and they lost to Buffalo. They can't lock it up. So no, they would have to be clear of Buffalo by a game.
I know if Buffalo loses,
then they're 2 up with 2 to play. They can't lock it up this week.
You're right.
And in fact, there's a very good chance they'll have to play their 17th game, needing to win to have the 1 seed, because they don't have the tiebreaker.
You know what's wild to me is that the Chiefs have the best record in the league, yet they have the 4th best odds to win the Super Bowl.
Their point differential's like 10th, and they've got the best record in the league.
They're 13-1. Teams that are ahead of them as far as best odds to win the Super Bowl: the Bills, the Eagles, and the Lions.
That's, I guess, eye test stuff, because they haven't been overly impressive. They've won all those 1-score games. They've had that magic, but they do have Patrick Mahomes. So once it comes down to it, and it's January, I don't care what they did in the regular season with 1-score wins. They're still going to be the Chiefs at home.
I hate the Chiefs more than any team, but it would be insane not to put some money down on the Chiefs right now.
Insane. What's the actual odds at 4th best? They're like, what, 4-1 or something? Worse than that?
I don't have.
Okay. NFL Super Bowl odds 2024.
I just know that they have the 4th best.
All right, let's see. They do. They're plus 450 right now. So you put $10 down, you get 45 on the Chiefs.
I have at BetMGM plus 600.
I'm at ESPN Bet. They're plus 450, which is tied with the Lions.
Yeah.
Eagles are plus 400. Bills are plus 375. But yeah, all right, plus 600, even better.
Yeah.
Put $100 down on the Chiefs. If they win another Super Bowl, you walk away with $600, and they're 13-1.
Right.
Like they've only lost 1 time.
And what have we done the last 2 years? I think
bet against
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
They were favorites. Were they favorites in the Eagles game or no? In the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Great question, man.
Because I know they weren't favorites last year. Niners were like a 1.5 point favorite in that game.
Right. Let's see. It was Philadelphia was favored. Philadelphia was minus 125.
So are we going to do this again?
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
is the point. Yeah.
Like, it's a trick by Vegas to get money from you because
Right.
every time that the Chiefs are slighted, they win. So what
Right.
happens?
That's a
It's
good
like,
point.
come on, man.
Yeah, it's a really good point. It's like we're going down a path where we're trying to convince each other why the Chiefs aren't the best team in the NFL when they've won the last 2 Super Bowls and they're 13-1. So why are we playing like these mental games with each other, pretending like they're not the best team? Why do we think that anything that happened in October has any relevancy to what they're going to do at Arrowhead January 29th?
Now, I don't think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl this year, but it would be also stupid of me if the Chiefs are hosting the AFC title game against Buffalo to not pick the Chiefs.
Right.
Or if they're in the Super Bowl again to not pick the Chiefs. If the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl again and they're underdogs again versus Philadelphia or Detroit, I'm hammering the Chiefs in that game. 100%.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because based on the odds right now, and things could change, they would be small dogs in the Super Bowl against Philadelphia or Detroit based on these odds. So you get to the Super Bowl and the Eagles have played great and they have. And they're playing Kansas City. And we're supposed to believe that this is the time that the Eagles are clearly better than Kansas City, even though we did the same song and dance 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were favored. They lost the game.
Like it's kind of crazy because, yeah, you're right. The eye test shows that the Chiefs don't match their record, but they continue to win. And in the NFL, all that matters is winning by a point.
Yeah, there's a lot of close games.
A lot of close
the
games.
NFL.
And in the postseason, most of the time, you're going to be dealing with some close games.
Definitely.
And the Chiefs are the best close game team in the league. I think I would much rather have my favorite team going in the postseason being considered a close win team than a team that has blown everybody out, because inevitably you're going to get one of those close games in a postseason matchup. And if you don't have any experience with winning a, just nasty, ugly, one score game, then that's going to be kind of tough.
Here's how I look at it right now. There's no real reason to bet against the Kansas City Chiefs. There's no legitimate reason. Like, has Detroit been that good? No, they're hurt. Is Philadelphia so superior? No, they're not so superior. Is Buffalo that much better? They beat them at Orchard Park.
I think it was like 30-27.
Yeah, so what? Right? And if they play at Arrowhead, I don't know how it's relevant. Like if the same two teams meet at Arrowhead, I don't know how it's relevant. So there's no compelling reason for me. There's no historical team. If Buffalo is 14-0 right now, you know what I mean? And was beating everyone by 14 points, maybe, but they're not.
Believe me, I want somebody to knock off the Chiefs. Like, I do not want to see them win a third consecutive Super Bowl. I hate those guys. But you're right. To bet against them until proven otherwise is kind of ridiculous. So getting the fourth best odds right now at this moment in time on December 17th to win the Super Bowl, how are you not hammering that right now? If you are a guy that likes to bet, or a woman, I'm taking the Chiefs right now. $100. Boom. How you doing?
If we were at Circa,
I would bid $100.
I'm with you. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I think we did the same. I did the same thing with the Padres. I think at 14-1. Now they didn't win the World Series.
No, they did not.
And they're not going to win the Super Bowl either, but still felt like a good bet.
Chiefs are a team that has given up 30 points just one time in the last 35 games.
That's crazy.
They win every close game that they're in. They have Patrick Mahomes. They most likely will have home field throughout. And they'll be hosting a potential AFC championship game once again at Arrowhead Stadium. You going to bet against that?
No, I'm not. It's a good point. Will Brinson, CBS Sports. We'll talk more NFL with him coming up at 4 p.m. at 4:30. Longtime Aztec men's basketball assistant Dave Velasquez coming up next. We'll give away those San Diego Seals tickets. Also, what that Cody Bellinger deal to the Yankees means for the Padres. Next on Jon and Jim. Jon Jim with you. We're going to give away these San Diego Seals tickets coming up in just a few moments. Will Brinson, NFL Network, will join us coming up at 4 p.m. Dave Velasquez, San Diego State men's basketball at 4:30. You saw the back and forth, obviously, between Schefter and Gottlieb.
Yeah,
which was really funny.
I gotta look. I think Gottlieb's a total dweeb and a total loser. I had an interaction with him one time, and he could not have been a bigger douche than he was. I mean, it was like, bro, you're not. Stop trying to act like you're better than me.
Just the long and the short of it was Schefter said, "Hey, Sac State's interested in Michael Vick, and oh, by the way, they have $50 million in NIL."
Yeah,
which I've heard before too, and makes no sense. I mean, they're not
50 million.
That doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. Nobody has 50 million, including Ohio State.
Right.
So basically, Gottlieb took a shot at him. He's like, Schefty, no, they don't. And then Schefter was like, hey, by the way, why don't you try winning a game at Wisconsin Green Bay, because your team is awful, and he's the head coach there. Now they're 2-10. 2-10. They've lost 7 consecutive games. Anyway, at the end of the day, Gottlieb was right, because Norfolk State hired Michael Vick, and Sac State today hired the UNLV OC, Brennan Marion, the head of the go-go offense. They were really good the last 2 years. Sac State has hired Brennan Marion. But this whole $50 million in NIL, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What $50 million?
It's like the worst person in the world is right.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like,
Gottlieb's right.
I don't understand this narrative. That's if Sac State has $50 million,
then what the hell does everyone else have? Yeah.
Ohio State used $20 million to build their roster.
Right.
How could Sac State have $50 million in FCS? Where's this money?
50?
Isn't that ridiculous?
That's ridiculous.
What did Sac State go last year? 100-0?
They better
be the best team ever. Sac State football. I need to see their record. Were they good? They lost to Idaho State. I don't know.
Shout out Bernie.
Did Bernie go to Idaho State or Idaho?
Oh, did he go to Idaho? I think it was Idaho. Maybe Idaho. Sorry, Bird Dog.
But they went in 2024. I'm so fascinated by this. With their 50 million war chest.
$50 million.
3-9.
There's no way.
50 million. What are they waiting for? There's no chance. I'm sorry. I need to get to the bottom of that. Every time I hear that, I want that to be refuted so badly.
Right.
Oh, they're going to have 50. They want to go to the Pac-12. They want to build a football stadium, a basketball arena, and they have 50 million in NIL. They're run by like princes? Like, where's this $1 billion coming from in Sacramento?
Like Goldman Sachs is just like funding Sac State.
I just find it fascinating.
Maybe he meant $50 million for like every program and like to build a stadium and an arena.
$50 million. Sorry.
Maybe that's what he meant.
It's laughable.
It's laughable. It's ridiculous. There's no way.
There's just no way.
No chance.
There's no way.
That had 50 million Sac State.
I do find it funny.
But it was, Gottlieb did get.
He got destroyed and I think he was right. He basically said, like, yo, Schefty, stick to the NFL because he was covering college.
Yeah.
And then Schefty was like, well, stick to coaching your team. Doug Gottlieb has a 3-hour national radio show as the head coach of the University of Wisconsin Green Bay, their Division I men's basketball team. Yeah, like that. What's odder, Sac State having 50 million in their coffers, or Doug Gottlieb hosting a radio show and being a head coach? Probably the
Sac
50
State
mil.
said 50 million. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Man, the one time I met Doug Gottlieb, have I ever told you about that?
When he was wearing like his Chargers gear.
Yeah, I was over across the street, and they decided that having Doug Gottlieb down here to like launch the station was like a good idea.
They got the last laugh.
Yeah. I mean, at the time it was awful. Anyway, I had to like they really did. I had to board op his show, and he comes in and I introduced myself and he looks right past me.
He blew you off?
Didn't even acknowledge me. And I'm in the same room with him, board opping his show the entire time. Doesn't say one word to me. He doesn't even say thank you, doesn't even ask for my name, nothing. He is completely oblivious to me in that room, and he just leaves the station without talking to anybody afterwards. I
So he completely rubbed you the wrong way.
Yeah, completely rubbed me the wrong way. And it was a total, how when like you like I try to be the same person I am on air as I am off air.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you are.
Right.
I promise. You don't know Norfolk State off air either.
The mic turned off, and he could not have been more different than he was
Really?
on air. Oh yeah. I just Mike turned off, complete curmudgeon.
Man, you were just
Mike
you're
turned
going
on
in here.
It's the Doug Gottlieb show.
Enjoy that defamation lawsuit.
I don't care about Doug Gottlieb.
Does
Will Doug Gottlieb ever know who I am? No.
No, you were in the same room with him. And
Exactly.
He
Didn't know who I was. Didn't even say hi. Didn't say thank you. Didn't even acknowledge me. Looked right past me. And then he wore a stupid Chargers jersey. That really was a smart idea. Moron.
I want to say his brother was a longtime assistant to Steve Fisher at San Diego State. And he was.
Okay.
And his brother was also a former assistant at Sac State.
The
powerhouse,
the powerhouse of Sac State.
Anyway, I don't even know what the point is other than I didn't know Gottlieb and Schefter would have like a Twitter war.
Well, that's what happens is
Passan will do it too sometimes.
But Passan responds to people that go after him. Gottlieb was looking for something to go after. So if I'm Schefter,
right.
Absolutely I'm going to roast the hell out of you. I didn't talk about you, Doug. And then all of a sudden you quote my tweet saying that I'm an idiot or whatever you said.
Right.
Like, no, I'm going to eviscerate you right now. And, it's like, what's the saying? I won't start a fight, but I'll sure as hell end the fight. That's how this whole situation was with Schefter and Gottlieb.
So dumb. Yeah, honestly, I always find it fascinating. And we'll get in. I mean, everyone, if you spend any time on social media, especially Twitter, there's a little bit of back and forth.
And I just don't care sometimes. Like sometimes people are like, Jim, you're an idiot. I'm like, shut up.
You're right.
Like, yeah, I don't care. What? Thanks. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, we get it, Ben Fadden.
Yeah, Ben, you can only call me an idiot so many times.
All right, Will Brinson's going to join us coming up. There's a lot to get into. We're heading down the back stretch here of the regular season in the National Football League. And then Dave Velasquez, San Diego State men's basketball this Saturday is in San Jose at 7:30 taking on Cal. Pre-game coverage at 6:30. It's the final non-conference game of the year for the Aztecs. It's an important game because they've played really well in the non-conference. The Houston win, Creighton, just avoid the slip-up. Cal is good. Cal is capable. It's a dangerous game for San Diego State, so we'll talk about that coming up. Again, with Dave Velasquez at 4:30, but I promise you San Diego Seals tickets. First caller to 877-767-4760. You've got a holiday gift waiting for you. December 21st, we have a 4-pack of tickets to see the Seals. December 21st, 7 p.m., Pechanga Arena. First caller to 877-767-4760. Mark your calendars. It's Heroes Night. Seals, December 21st at 7. It's a night to recognize and celebrate San Diego's local heroes. Arrive early. The first 4,000 fans score a Seals fanny pack. Secure your seats today at sealslax.com. That's sealslax.com. 877-767-4760. First caller has a 4-pack of tickets to see the Seals on December 21st. Will Brinson, CBS Sports, heading into another weekend in the NFL. He'll join us next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. We'll start with the NBA Cup. The finals is tonight, John. 5:30 tip time in Las Vegas as the Bucks take on the Thunder. And hot stove news of the day, Yankees made a big-time trade for outfielder Cody Bellinger from the Cubs for a prospect and money in return. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
It's Jon and Jim to warm up that drive home.
The players won't sign off on capping spending.
Nope.
And the owners don't want to necessarily cap it either. I mean, yeah, there's a group of owners that do, but they're going to outweigh the demands of Steve Cohen and the Dodger ownership group and the Yankees and the Reds. I don't see that.
If you had majority, so you
Yeah.
had 16 that were dead fast on getting a salary cap,
Right.
then you're having a lockout for a while because that will never happen.
Well, not with the players union.
Exactly.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego, Southern California, what's going on? Hour 3, Jon and Jim. Really good hour for you. We have Holiday Bowl tickets. We'll give them away later this hour. Dave Velasquez, San Diego State men's basketball assistant, will join us at 4:30. And as always, Will Brinson with us on this Tuesday, breaking down the National Football League as we head down the backstretch here of the regular season. Will Brinson from CBS Sports back with us. And Will, we always appreciate it. We were just discussing, if you look at current Super Bowl odds, the Chiefs still remain with the fourth shortest odds behind still Detroit, Philadelphia, and Buffalo. Now it's close, depending on where you're looking. They're like plus 450 to maybe plus 550 or plus 600. The other teams are like plus 300 or 400. But like, have we gone down this path before where we've bet against them and they're 13-1? I mean, we're heading towards another January at Arrowhead. Do they deserve to be, with shorter odds than the fourth best in the NFL right now?
No, I think that's about right. I mean, the thing is, and I talked about this like this season, the past couple of weeks, I think with you guys, it's like the NFC, and I get that the Lions have this great record and the Eagles have been awesome. The NFC to me profiles like I would rather make a bet on a team out of the AFC. And not necessarily because I think the AFC teams are better, but I think when you look at kind of the top tier of the AFC, you have the Bills who look like a truck stick right now, and Josh Allen playing historically great football, just doing ridiculous things, putting fantasy teams on his back, putting the Bills on his back. You have the Ravens with Lamar, who's like kind of keeping the MVP conversation alive. And then you have the Chiefs with Mahomes, where, like say what we want about the offense, but I mean, we've seen it happen before, right? I mean, it's just like they did it last year. They get to the postseason, everyone's like, well, they can't just flick a switch. It's like, they can. And they did that. So yeah, like I think that would be the argument for why you want to make their odds a little shorter. I'm actually surprised that they're the fourth shortest. I think the Bills are playing better football. Bills have an easier schedule. Patriots twice and the Jets. Chiefs have to slip up twice. But I would guess that the odds probably moved a little bit today and will continue to move based around Patrick Mahomes' ankle injury and whether or not he can play. Because, I mean, Chiefs are going to have they might end up with home field advantage. It depends on it's such a delicate line to walk here. Do you sit Patrick Mahomes, rest him now, get him healthy, knowing you might have to go on the road? To me, I would try to rest him. Obviously it depends. Is he doing that crazy Mahomes thing where he recovers really quickly, and
Right.
despite it looking like a gruesome ankle injury, it happens every year. It feels like. Do you rest him one game, see if you can win. If you do, you feel really good about being able to get that one seed. If you lose, maybe you try to bring him back in week 18 or something like that. It's just a delicate line to walk. But I think the odds are probably reflective of kind of the unknown with Mahomes' ankle injury and whether if he comes out and plays this week and looks good and they win the game, I would expect those odds to drop pretty good.
And of course, he practiced in full today for the Chiefs, so it's
naturally,
right? Yeah, exactly. The Lions, we talked about, having a really good odds to win the Super Bowl, and it seems like it's between them and the Eagles in the NFC. But these injuries will, I mean, at some point, the injuries could end up haunting them? What's the biggest one to you? Is it David Montgomery out that now they lose that 1-2 punch in the backfield?
I think and I mean, this is kind of a homer take because he's an NC State guy, but I think the biggest one is Aleem McNeil.
Okay.
He has been awesome for them on the interior. You know, you kind of get after the passer a little bit, but such a great. I mean, I watch him really closely for a long time. You get paid $20 million this off season per year. He is one of the best run stuffers out there. Just and a great guy too. Which it sucks that the injury is an ACL. Probably puts his start of 2025 in at least a little bit of jeopardy. But I think that's the bigger deal because the Lions before and even after the Aiden Hutchinson injury at like full strength, you couldn't run on him really well. And so you could attack him via the pass a little bit. Now I think with these injuries piling up on defense, and they have twice as many now defensive players on IR as the next closest team in the NFL. It's crazy how snake-bitten they've been. I think the Lions are kind of going to have to win in shootout style. Now, you get the 1 seed. This is where the 1 seed for them becomes really, really important because you want to have that. You want to get that bye. You want to give guys an extra rest. You want to get as many guys healthy as you can. You want to have that home field advantage. Play indoors. Just if you have to, just get into track meets with everybody. And Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down. All those explosive weapons. So the Lions are still live, but as I mentioned, the NFC. You look around that conference and the two teams that stand out to me that could really be a problem for anybody, even the Eagles, the Lions, whoever, the Rams and the Packers. And then I think you can throw the Buccaneers in there as well. Atlanta's still keeping pace a little bit, but Tampa hung one on LA, and that offense has been cooking, and the defense, Todd Bowles can coach it up. So I think, back to my point I made, we're talking about the Chiefs, just like the NFC feels like if you told me, not any team, because I don't know that the Falcons or the Commanders are necessarily going to pull it off, but if you told me the Packers, Bucks, Eagles, Rams, or Lions were the representative in the Super Bowl, I don't think I would really bat an eye just because of, they have these like the three teams we're talking about, the Bucks, Rams, and Packers have these quarterbacks who can just get white hot. And so, I think, but to me, the Aleem McNeil injury, the biggest one for the Lions in an NFC playoff picture that is going to be just fun to watch happen. And I'm not discrediting the Vikings at all either.
All right, I need your 2 cents on this, Will Brinson, CBS Sports. We spent like 30 minutes on this yesterday for some reason. I don't think we intended to. The Dan Campbell onside kick, Jim has made it out to be. And Jim, you can speak for yourself. But he made it out to be egregious.
I made it out to be, if I was a Lions fan, I would be a little worried because now the margin for error for them with all these injuries is smaller.
But in the moment, you're saying kick down 10. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you're down 10. You've allowed 38 points. There's 12 minutes left. What are the odds of winning the game anyway? So where do you land on that?
Yeah, I don't love the onside kick with 12 minutes left. Not against a Bills team that is, just like, you can kind of go both ways on it. Here's the argument for it, right? We need the extra possession. We're down 10. We can't stop them. Right? Josh Allen is moving the ball at will. They're running the ball all over us. James Cook is having another great game. Allen is doing anything he wants and is going supernova. And is just, some of the throws you see from him the last 3 weeks are just absurd. So I guess I get it a little bit in that sense, but the odds of an onside kick are so minuscule that I would rather take the chance on kicking off, 10-point lead. You have a coach on the other side, Sean McDermott, who can be a little conservative just in terms of his approach. Maybe he decides to come out and run it 3 times with with James Cook. You stuff him, you get the stop, and then you can, I don't know. I guess I would rather try to exhaust all normal remedies before I went to the onside kick, just because in 2024 the NFL has completely neutered it and made it a thing where you're just more than likely not going to pull it off, and all you're really doing is giving Buffalo a shorter field to go score some points.
Yeah, I was more or less talking about, in the postseason, there's going to inevitably be a moment where Dan Campbell makes a decision where everybody at home is saying to themselves, oh, what's happening? What's going on? And I just feel that, with the margin for error they now don't really have because
the one thing I would say on that is, and I said it when he went for that insane fourth down, a few weeks ago or whatever, is like, at least be who you're going to be.
Right.
Because, people who watch Chargers games understand, like, Brandon Staley, he was going for him in these crazy fourth down situations, and then clearly got some kind of edict from ownership and management in the offseason where he, like, all of a sudden became hesitant about what he wanted to do and didn't trust himself. And I think, the margin for error is smaller, but now it's like, as crazy as it may seem, your aggression in a tighter playoff spot, like the confidence to be aggressive, to do these things that are considered unconventional and, like go against, the conventional wisdom, really, right? Like, I think, you need to get a little lucky with him and you need to pull him off. But Dan Campbell has instilled in this team this idea, like, I'm going to lay my onions on the table and we are going to be aggressive. And I do think when you get to the playoffs, if you find yourself in a spot where maybe, think back to that NFC title game with Aaron Rodgers or Matt LaFleur, kicked a field goal down 8 or something like that, right? Yeah. Even the best coaches, and Matt LaFleur's a really good coach, even the best coaches in those big playoff spots can freeze up. And I think sort of having this aggressiveness built in where your team knows what you're going to do and trust you to be aggressive, I think with all those injuries, maybe it's a little bit of a benefit in the postseason.
Will, I had to ask you about my Niners and the leak out this past week about Brock Purdy wanting to reset the quarterback market. Interesting timing after he had one of his worst games of the year on Thursday night against the Rams. What's your take on that whole story and potentially him getting maybe $60 million per year next season from the Niners?
Yeah. I was actually talking about this with I did Bill Barnwell of ESPN's podcast, I think like last week, and I said I thought that we could see Purdy maybe get a deal that isn't quite like this is like super outdated in terms of like referencing quarterback contracts, but I always think back to the Cam Newton and Andy Dalton signed contracts. It was like Cam's was fully guaranteed, or like Jay Cutler is fully guaranteed. Colin Kaepernick and Andy Dalton get these like, look at, or Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, whatever you want to do. They're like, look at these numbers. It's like, oh, well, then you see the deal. You're like, that's not that big a deal. I sort of thought Purdy might fall more in that camp than he would in like the Dak Prescott camp. And that's not because Purdy doesn't deserve it, but more so because you have a situation where, he's eligible for the deal and he's played great and they should go ahead and pay him because the price is only going to go up. But if you pay him before his rookie contract is up and before you use those franchise tags, that's leverage for the team. Now that all goes into the guaranteed money that you factor in when you do the long-term deal. But you can say, look, like, you're 3 years in, we want to figure out a way to make this team good around you. We want to utilize the salary cap and the creative accounting that we can do to try to keep the number minimal and maybe it balloons up a little bit. And so like, I think $60 million is not off the table. This is one where it's like the price is just going to rise. Like whoever's next, the question all comes down to the guarantees. And so if Purdy's willing to take a deal that's maybe a little bit, and like with the quarterbacks, it doesn't really matter with the guarantees. Like you just don't, if you're a good quarterback, you're going to play out your deal and get the full money. It's just not going to be, the team doesn't have to put in escrow and all that. And like you can reduce the salary cap number a little bit more. So I think that's my take. Bill disagrees with me. So, and Bill's a very smart guy. So, I think, it may indicate that the team is sort of leaning my direction and that Purdy's camp is thinking, nah, dude, like we're going to get that fully guaranteed deal. And it will, if it gets there and we've seen the Niners in these protracted sort of off-season holdouts, I'd be curious to see how the Brandon Ayuk and Trent Williams deals, which I think, we all agree probably affected them a little early in the season, just in terms of, being on the same page. Not that, the injury luck had anything really to do with it, but like, will they be more proactive about getting something done early because they want to make sure they're prepped for the season after a bad year? I think like how hard they want to push the guarantees, that will ultimately be sort of the sticking point with the Niners and Purdy on getting a deal done.
Can you even live off 60 million in Northern California anymore? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it was
No,
taxes.
I mean, you're paying like 70.
Right.
You get 60 million a year. You get 72 in taxes.
Yeah, I kind of sympathize for him.
I do. I do
That's
too.
tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
Yeah, you can't go buy a
Yeah.
sandwich.
And
down
look,
the
I mean,
street.
he has been getting paid like $1 million, which is great. Don't get me wrong. $1 million a year sounds awesome.
Yeah.
For anybody. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, I think I get $1 million for appearance to you guys, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Would Purdy make more in
that,
NIL at Iowa State or 60 million at San Fran?
right. No, but I mean,
Will, we appreciate it, man.
yeah.
Happy holidays. We'll do it again soon, all right? Thank you.
All right, sounds good, guys. Have a good one.
Will Brinson, CBS Sports, brought to you by Humul Casino. 7 restaurants, thrilling games, and a sports pub voted San Diego's best. Humul Casino is fun above all else. The Wrap is next. Dave Velasquez, San Diego State men's basketball assistant at 4:30. It's Jon and Jim. All right, Humul Casino is Jon and Jim for our friends over at Humul. It's a great month to get out there. It really is this holiday season. You can join them every Monday this month. You'll have chances to win big luxury handbags, top brands like Louis Vuitton, Versace, and more. They've got 10 winners every hour. 7, 8, 9 p.m. Onyx players receiving an extra $100 in cash bonuses, plus one lucky winner each hour will have the opportunity to pick a purse back with cash. We're talking about up to $25,000, and you'll get to keep the purse as well.
Yeah, and if you're lucky enough to win a Louis Vuitton, Burberry, or Versace purse, or win that and $25,000 in cash, you can head on over to Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, Loft 94, or their poker room to watch all the sporting action that they have for you. NFL, college basketball, college football, NBA, NHL, they have it all.
Also, New Year's Eve, just over 2 weeks away. Get to Humul. They've got the holographic New Year's party. You can celebrate in style. They'll kick off festivities with $20 free play for all, beginning at noon. Make it an unforgettable New Year's celebration out of Humul Casino.
Yeah, get ready for New Year's with Humul. You can also win a lot of money with Humul, some stylish handbags at Humul, and watch all the sporting events you want. And they have great dining experiences, too, with amazing food selections. Only at Humul Casino. It's fun above all else.
Dave Velasquez, San Diego State men's basketball. He'll join us in 10 minutes. So right now, why don't we get to the wrap? But first, have you downloaded the new iHeartRadio? Because if you haven't, you need to. It's available in the App Store. If it's not available right now, it will be available this week.
It's not fully available right now.
It's going to be available, though. Brand new, #1 audio app in the country. Has gotten bigger, bolder, badder. Like in a good way. Like,
yeah.
Right.
I was on a conference call today, and I saw all the features of the brand new iHeartRadio app before a lot of people will be able to use it. And it's a pretty sweet upgrade. And it makes the app even simpler to use and much more user-friendly. Like some of the features they have are presets. So it's like your car radio. Like everybody has presets in their car. I do, you do, everybody does. But now they have it on the iHeartRadio app, so you can put your favorite stations or podcasts in your presets wherever you go. Like here in San Diego, if you're walking around with your phone and you wanted to, browse the iHeart stations on the app, it gives you a browse feature, like a scan feature, and you can look at all the iHeart stations that are in the area that you are at: New York, LA, San Francisco, here in San Diego. And then also too, they give you the top trending stuff as well. The app, it's completely upgraded, and it's amazing. I can't wait till everybody has that out either this week or next week or the start of the year when they start fully rolling that thing out.
Oh, is that? I thought it was. So it might not be available until the start of the year.
They are doing a soft launch, John. You know what soft launch is, right?
A soft launch, but we're telling everyone about it. I thought it was definitely going to be this week.
Well, it is this week and around Christmas and into the new year.
Wow. It's very soft.
So it's not like a like some people have it, like a testing app out to give feedback on what they like and don't like with the app. So then maybe they can make some changes before they fully roll that whole thing out.
I love that.
By the beginning of the year.
I love that. We'll actually get to the wrap coming up next hour because Dave Velasquez is going to join us in a few minutes. I did want to mention that the college football playoff starts Friday. And here's the thing. Like, if you like cold weather football, which a lot of football fans do, like you watch the NFL, you're watching the Bills at Orchard Park, it's snowing, right? People get enamored with that. If you like that, you might like this weekend. I mean, you're going to have 30-degree temperatures or colder in, I think, 3 of the 4 sites. I'm talking about South Bend is Friday night, I think, right? The Notre Dame game is Friday night? I think that's right. Is that right?
You got...
Yes, Notre Dame is Friday night. That's going to be below 30 degrees. You have Ohio State and Columbus Saturday night. That's going to be below 30 degrees. You have Penn State at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. That'll be 25 degrees. So, and it might snow in South Bend or State College or somewhere along the way. So, like, this is what they signed up for by expanding the playoff and putting them on campus sites. Like, you're not putting this thing every year in Los Angeles. There's going to be a lot of games in, like, State College and Columbus, Ohio. So if you like cold weather football, you're going to get it this weekend.
Dude, Saturday's slate of games, or just, like, the sports, like, slate on Saturday.
NFL games.
Oh, my gosh. So you got 3 playoff games in college football. You got SMU, Penn State at noon. Clemson, Texas at 4 p.m. And then Tennessee, Ohio State's the nightcap at 8 p.m.
Right.
Then during those games, you have Houston and Kansas City. And then Pittsburgh and Baltimore at 4:30. Now, is this Eastern time? So it's 1:30. So you got 10 a.m. start for Houston and Kansas City, a 9 a.m. start for SMU, Penn State. Clemson.
It's a loaded day.
Yeah. And then also, you got Aztec basketball that day Saturday, as well. Yeah. You also, I'm sure, have NBA games on Saturday. Oh, yeah. You got a full slate of NBA games on Saturday as well. So, yeah, dude, Saturday is going to be like a loaded sports day. College basketball as well.
Fascinated to see college football ratings against the NFL ratings. I mean, the NFL will steamroll it. But, like, what will the numbers look like for Clemson, Texas up against the NFL? What would they look like for Penn State, SMU? I don't think Penn State, SMU has much of a shot with, like, again, it's not Penn State, Miami. Like, SMU, like, that's not going to be the Chiefs game. No. But that was the issue with expanding the playoff. I've always loved the idea of expanding the playoff, but by playing it up against the NFL, that's rare. You don't see a lot of college football up against the NFL. during the college season, you don't see NFL games on Saturdays week 2. But here we are, those final 2 weeks of the regular season, the NFL always uses Saturdays. Yeah. So now you got a Chiefs game up against a college football playoff game.
I just want to know if YouTube TV is going to do a feature on Saturday
with NFL and college.
With NFL and college.
Oh, yeah, they will. Oh, yeah.
Like, can I watch the Clemson Texas game while also watching the Pittsburgh Baltimore
game? You better
game?
believe you can.
Can I watch SMU Penn State?
You better believe you can.
Oh, no.
You can sneeze. All right, Dave Velasquez, San Diego State men's basketball, longtime assistant. Will get us ready for Cal. I don't even know what to say. It's not my fault. It continues next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. We'll start with the hot stove. Cody Bellinger today was traded from the Cubs to the Yankees for a prospect and cash. And the NBA Cup final is tonight, Bucks and Thunder, 5:30 tip time in Las Vegas. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small businesses with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
All right, let's catch up with Dave Velasquez. He's been so good to the show over the years. Longtime assistant at SDSU. Aztecs off to a great start again this year. They're off for finals. They'll be playing Cal in San Jose Saturday night at 7:30. Ted Leitner on the call. You can hear it, of course, right here on San Diego Sports 760. Dave, always appreciate it for taking the time. Is it a good time for the week off? It seemed like you guys were playing so many games in such a short period of time. So I would imagine it's welcomed, and thanks for hopping on.
Absolutely. It's always welcome, and appreciate all your guys' support. And yeah, we had some time off, and obviously there's some things we got to get a lot better at. And unfortunately, we've been able to learn through winning for the most part. You know, obviously we had the early Gonzaga loss, and we dropped one out against Oregon out in Vegas. But for the most part, we put ourselves up in a good position right now in this non-conference, and we have a really hard game coming up on Saturday versus super talented Cal team that's old and has depth and is going to be a tough challenge for us. And we've had a week to get better at some things we feel like we have to improve at, which is obviously rebounding. And I know you'll probably get to that here soon, but we've spent a lot of time and getting more cleaned up with our rebounding efforts on both ends of the floor. It's not just defensive rebounding. We could be much better offensive rebounding team, and I think we will move forward.
Well, there you go. You asked the next question there, Dave. Rebounding being an issue for you so far. What has been the biggest problem that you have seen and the coaching staffs that have seen that you need to fix here with the rebounding issues?
Just consistency. I mean, the first half at Cal Baptist, we were great rebounding the ball. Second half, we just weren't. We weren't able to finish plays, and you know, a lot of times you got to have a nose for the ball. It's not a form and technique thing. A lot of times with defensive rebounding, especially. You know, sometimes you could, you know, we joke a lot as coaches that sometimes guys they're boxing out too much and they're not going in pursuing the ball. So there's a fine line when it comes to rebounding. As a coach, there's always, you know, drills and things you can improve. But to me, it's more of a mentality. It's more of a consistent effort. It's a focus, a concentration to rebound the ball better. That's just my personal opinion. I think it comes down to, it's all about mentality with rebounding. And I feel like that's on both sides. You know, we've played some big time offensive rebounding teams this year. And I felt like we did a good job, but we need to be that offensive rebounding team that every time a team turns on the film and they're going to play San Diego State, all their coaches are saying is we have to keep them off the glass. We have to keep them off the glass. And I feel like for us, it's more consistency than form and technique at the present time.
And you know that you're going to take on two of the elite rebounding teams in America, Cal and Utah State, over the next week as well. But then again, that's what you faced in Houston, and you really held your own against Houston on a neutral floor. Dave Velasquez with us right now, Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. I don't need to tell you this, but your freshmen have been ridiculously impressive. I always go back to this point. Jaden Ledee, I don't think hit a college three until his All-American year, which was last year. And here's Magoon Gwath as this redshirt freshman hitting threes. He had the most ridiculous stat line against Fresno State, 25 points and 10 rebounds and 4 blocks. So what has it been like so far coaching these freshmen, not just Magoon, but Farrow and Taj DeGorville, and watching them develop over the first half of their freshman year?
It's been awesome. It's everything that you'd want in freshmen. They're coachable. They're everyday guys. They're learning. You know, I feel like that's something that as a fan, sometimes you don't want to hear. You know, you want them to be great all the time, but they're young and they're learning. They're still forming habits of game day and how they hydrate. How do they feed themselves? You know, how do they sleep the night before? You know, there's everything. What's their game day routine? And so for us, it's been fun. You know, it's everything you want when you come into coaching. It's to have super talented players that believe in you, that trust in you, that trust their teammates. All they care about is winning, and they've all had different roles. You know, and in certain games, some have had bigger roles in their last game, but they're always ready to play. They prepare like they're veterans on this team. And so it's been fun. And our guys, our team loves them. You know, I think that's one other thing. You could tell in their energy and just who they are as people. I mean, people gravitate to them. People want to help them. And so it's been a fun season so far, and there's been growing pains, and there's going to be. I don't think people realize this is the youngest team we've ever coached at San Diego State for Coach Dutcher, by far. Like, not even close.
Yeah.
I think we're somewhere in the 200s, and I don't know if we've ever been in the triple digits in a team with this amount of least D1 experience. So for us, it's been a fun year. And again, you expect the growing pains as a coach, and that's part of the job, and that's part of how rewarding some of these big wins early have been.
One of the guys on your team that has had a really good start to his season is like a vet, but he's been for 3 years, but he's also very young as well. Miles Bird, he's leading the team in scoring. If he didn't have the game against Gonzaga where he didn't score any points off the week that he didn't practice, I mean, he could be averaging more points per game, but like the growth that he has shown from last year to this year, talk about what he has done for you guys, especially early on.
I mean, number one, it's truly, I don't want to overuse this word today, but for us, we've been able to rely on Miles on both ends of the floor in terms of offensively and defensively, in terms of guarding maybe the best player on the other team, but then offensively having to come down and kind of play through him offensively to make the right play, to get a bucket when we need it, but at the same time throw a lob. The drop-off pass he had to Farrell Compton in the Cal Baptist game was absolutely ridiculous. Behind the back bounce pass. But Miles is that talented, and his ability to be more consistent every single game has been great, outside of one game like you mentioned. But out of 9 games, to say, okay, he had one, kind of a bad game. Obviously, he was in a huge game, but for us, that's pretty good. I mean, that's growth in a guy that we wasn't relied on to be an every game guy last year, where you're going to play 28 plus minutes. You're going to be asked to not just score the most points on the team, but also guard one of the other team's best players. And then, at the end of the day, we're going to need you to get an offensive rebound against Houston, go to the free throw line, make both, send us to overtime, and then make plays in overtime. I mean, he's been outstanding, and he's just getting better and better every single day of practice. I thought he's had, out of all of our guys this week, I thought he's had one of our better weeks in terms of improving on the things we need to improve on to make our team better.
Dave Velasquez with us right now. San Diego State, Cal, Saturday from San Jose at 7:30. Pregame coverage begins at 6:30. Speaking of Cal, you touched them briefly, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It appears to be an elite offense with Stojakovic and Blackshear, and we've seen Ritis Petritis, who was at Air Force. I mean, can shoot the 3-ball. This team can flat out shoot the 3-ball. What are the concerns heading into a game against Cal? I remember last year, different teams, a great game that was decided in overtime here in Southern California. What are you on the lookout for this weekend?
Well, you nailed it. They are an elite offensive team. I mean, they have 4 guys that would average over double digits. They'd have possibly 6, honestly. They're missing a guy that started the year averaging double digits, and then who might be back for our game, who's a transfer from North Dakota, I believe. And then they have a true freshman, Wilkinson, a guard who can really score the ball, and he's tough to keep out of the paint. And our focus this game is going to be to be, like I said, more consistent in terms of the game plan and sticking with it for 40 minutes and finding ways to shut them down offensively, and then for us to run really good offense and make them have to defend multiple sides of the floor, which we've done for the most part. Honestly, I feel like our offense is, besides we had a little stretch against Oregon that wasn't very fun to watch, but for the most part, our offense has done a pretty good job of moving the ball, moving bodies, being difficult to guard, letting our talent show with our spacing, giving our guys freedom to play. And then just defensively with Cal, I mean, they do so much, but again, it's just going to come down to rebounding. They're going to make and take some hard shots, and they're going to sometimes miss some shots that are probably pretty easy looks for them. But if we don't rebound the ball, we are going to have a hard time winning that game on Saturday. And it's something that I know our guys understand, our guys have bought in. And like I said, it's not that we haven't done it in a few games. We just, and for the most part, we haven't been consistent rebounding, and it's showing. And like I said, it's on both ends of the floor. So we're not just working on defensive rebound. Offensive rebound is a huge key to this game as well.
Do you have any update on Reese Waters?
I don't. I know there's another scan coming up here very soon. We'll know more, I would guess, over the next week or so. But as of today, no, there's no updates. And that's one of the things I wish we could talk more about in terms of just how unbelievable he's been with his attitude and how great he's been for our young guys with Taj and Farrell and Magoon and even BJ Davis to an extent, and being someone they can lean on, and he's also been there for Wade McKinney in terms of okay, you transfer in and everything is new, and how, and how to adapt and adapt to a new coaching staff, adapt to our system. When did you get comfortable, Reese? And so Reese has done an unbelievable job from the sidelines, but in terms of an update, no, but he's been as valuable as any coach on our staff in terms of helping this team come along this season, where a lot of guys, when they're hurt, they just kind of sit on the side. They don't say anything to anybody. They're not really engaged. But Reese has done an unbelievable job.
Well, he only scored 24 points against Cal last year. In 40 plus.
I wish we had him for Saturday. Do not get me wrong. I wish he was on the floor and not sitting next to us.
Yeah, it's funny. You look at these box scores in college basketball, Coach. You know it better than I do, but it's like Reese, who's still with you guys, but then Jaden. I think Reese and Jaden last year in that game at San Juan Cap combined for
50,
maybe
60.
something like 50. It was an incredible game, an amazing atmosphere last year in Southern California. This should be fun. Part of a doubleheader. San Diego State and Cal coming up Saturday night. Final non-conference game, believe it or not, for SDSU this season. Coach, always appreciate it. Happy holidays. We'll see you back at Viejas in about a week, and thanks for doing it.
Appreciate you guys having us. If anybody knows any friends up there, we need as much support as we can up in San Jose when we play Cal. Our fans always travel, and it's fun to be out there when we got the loudest cheering section in the room, and I know we probably will again on Saturday. So go Aztecs and have a great holiday season.
Great stuff from Dave Velasquez. Good point. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, Northern California, quick flight, San Diego State, Cal, part of a doubleheader with Stanford and Oregon at the SAP Center in San Jose. We're going to get to the wrap. No, we're not. We're going to get to the other thing we do, Trainwreck Radio. Who wants tickets to see the Holiday Bowl next Friday night? A week from Friday, an amazing holiday giveaway right now. Great gift idea. 2 free tickets to the Holiday Bowl next Friday. First 2 callers will be contestants for trivia. We call it Trainwreck Radio. 877-767-4760. Syracuse, Washington State, 1015 KGB Sky Show to follow with the fireworks during the game and after the game. Call right now. First 2 callers will be contestants. 877-767-4760. That's next on Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer, and stop letting high interest debt weigh you down. You can pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Listen up, homeowners. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity with no appraisals or paperwork awaiting. Loan Pronto's all-new Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash out in as little as a day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now. See how much you qualify for. Imagine this. Next week, you could be credit card debt free. Don't wait. Get your cash fast. Call 619-207-4336 or go to loanpronto.com. 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org. All right, we have auto show tickets. We'll give those away in the 5 o'clock hour. We're about to play Trainwreck Radio for Holiday Bowl tickets. Jim is sneezing. Yeah, you are listening.
I feel like John
Not
can say that
sneeze
same
anymore.
thing.
Yeah, we all can't wait.
We all can't wait.
We're all Bart Scott today. Can't wait. Can't wait.
This also, by the way, is like
I'm going to rip it no matter what you say.
I was going to say, this is the time of the year where everybody in every facet of life, work wise, is like just looking at that clock, waiting for the weekend, waiting for
Jim,
the holidays.
We talk sports for a living. They pay us to talk to each other.
John.
There are people with real
I am
jobs.
just talking about. Did I say us or did I say everybody? I said everybody.
You said us.
And including us, but mostly everybody.
Mostly everybody. Listen, it might be. Listen, there's going to be a day you're going to have a real job, and you're going to text me every single day.
You want to do another hour of the show?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to until 6.
No, I meant like
another hour. No, I mean I don't want to do unlimited. I mean I understand that point.
Well, I mean if we're going to be like quote unquote the normal people out there, let's have an 8-hour show. Let's have an 8-hour show, working 8-hour shifts.
I'm just saying, there's
come on,
gonna
let's
come
do
a
it.
day, dude.
8-hour shifts, bro.
There's gonna be a day.
8-hour shifts.
I do work 8-hour shifts.
You're gonna be working as like a kindergarten teacher.
What?
Changing like diapers. I don't think you do that in
Huh?
kindergarten.
What? That would not like
be a 12th grade teacher changing diapers.
Who needs their diaper changed today?
And I would
Students?
be like, dude, we're talking sports for a living. And now you have a real job.
Now I have a real job. Correct. Yeah, it'll probably happen sooner than later. But you know what?
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
Probably next week.
All right. I don't even know what we're doing, but let's get to it.
8-hour shifts.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Jack and we have Rudy. Jack, you called in first, so you have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
Jim.
All right, Jack and Jim.
Jim and Jack. Jack and Jim.
Yeah, I like that.
Like it.
Went down a hill.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Rudy, you have John, okay?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Brett, what's the question?
Wait, Rudy say yes?
Yes.
He spoke.
All right, guys, we'll get right to it. Today's question: who are the top 10 home run hitters in Major League Baseball last year? So we're looking for anyone that was in the top 10 for home runs last season.
Okay, Rudy, you're up first. I don't know. This is the loopy stage of the show.
It really is.
What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge on the list.
Is he?
He's the
on
number one
list.
guy.
Number one. Yep.
Jack, you're up next. What's your first guess? You have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Ohtani
on the list. Rudy, you're next. What's your second guess? You have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Let me use a lifeline.
All right, I will get. This is so easy because of Jim. Jim has harassed me for a year. I could have gone to the police by tagging me in every Bobby Witt Jr. highlight for no reason. I didn't even have strong takes other than Bobby Witt Jr. Other than I could care less about him.
I mentioned Bobby Witt Jr.
all the time,
and one time I mentioned him, and you flipped out on me.
I did.
So because of that, I'm going to make Bobby Witt Jr. your worst freaking nightmare.
But it now comes in handy because he had a huge year. It was second in MVP voting in the American League. Do you take Bobby Witt Jr.?
Yes, I'll take it.
Okay.
Come on.
Are you serious?
You 16th.
I'm dead.
I'm shocked.
He only had 32.
I'm shocked.
You idiot, and you don't know baseball.
I thought he had 40.
No, you did not.
Loser.
Are you looking at like August stats?
No, it's the whole year.
Lord.
Wow.
After that whole
the whole thing.
Yeah, he's tied for 16.
That whole thing. And
Karma.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. I was trying not to like bust into a Joker-sized smile when you're like, "Oh, Bobby Witt Jr." It's like, guys, not even on the list.
The joke finally paid off all this time. It ruined you this time.
All right, Jack, you're up.
Yeah, you're up, Jack. What do you got? You have a lifeline if you want to use it. What'd you say?
He said Soto.
Soto.
I honestly could have said so.
You could have easily said soda.
That was way
Probably
easier.
should have.
Idiot. Rudy, this is all to you because John's an idiot. You need this
to
right
stay alive.
to stay alive. What do you got?
Manny Machado.
Manny Machado.
Manny, I don't think so. Leave it to 30 and that'll do
Nope.
it.
Bum, 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 bum.
Jack and Jim.
Boom, baby. Winner. I played you.
You really don't.
I played you. I waited for this moment.
Man, that was well played.
For you to guess
What a
Bobby Witt
setup.
Jr. and just harass you with Bobby Witt Jr. highlights for
That's
a whole
amazing.
year.
He only had 32 home runs, and you're sending me highlights all year like he had 80.
Bro, he had like a 12 WAR. He led
Not
the
with
league in
over-
batting
He
average.
didn't lead the league in over the wall war because he was 16.
Over the wall war. That was a good one.
Yeah, 109 RBIs.
John is so mad.
I'm
right
so
now.
mad. Who else is on the list?
All right, Judge's number 1. The greatest baseball player ever was 2, Otani. 3, I can never say his last name right.
Anthony Santander.
Yep, that dude. He's number 3. Soto's 4. Marcelo Osuna is 5. Jose Ramirez is also 5. He's tied with Osuna. But then it's Brent Rooker, Kyle Schwarber, Gunnar Henderson, and Ketel Marte.
Not Bobby Witt.
Not even
Bobby
close.
Witt.
Not even close. All right, Jack and Jim, you guys can go together. It's the 1015 KGB Sky Show. It's going to follow the 45th annual DirecTV Holiday Bowl, Friday, December 27th. That is a week from Friday. You've got 2 tickets to the Holiday Bowl, and your ticket is also a ticket to KGB Sky Show, which is the fireworks show that will follow the game immediately afterwards. Tickets are available at holidaybowl.com. Holidaybowl.com for tickets and information. Syracuse, Washington State could be high scoring, Snapdragon Stadium next Friday night. All right, we'll kick off hour 4 with where we kicked off hour 1. Should the Padres trade Dylan Cease? Also, the latest is the Yankees have made a big move. What impact does that have on the Padres? It'll be hour 4. We've got tickets to see the auto show in San Diego to give away as well. We're here until 6 p.m. It's Jon and Jim.
All right, this update is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Baseball hot stove today. Cody Bellinger was traded from the Cubs to the Yankees for a prospect and money. And the NBA Cup is tonight, about a half hour away from tip time in Las Vegas between the Bucks and the Thunder. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small businesses with over 30 coverage options and easy-to-use mobile app. Personalized discounts and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressive.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
It's Jon and Jim to warm up that drive home.
The players won't sign off on capping spending.
Nope.
And the owners don't want to necessarily cap it either. I mean, yeah, there's a group of owners that do, but they're going to outweigh the demands of Steve Cohen and the Dodger ownership group and the Yankees and the Reds. I don't see that.
If you had majority, so you had 16 that were steadfast on getting a salary cap,
Right.
then you're having a lockout for a while because that will never happen.
Well, not with the players union.
Exactly.
Now, time for Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It is hour 4 of Jon and Jim. We just had a brief discussion about remember the pandemic, and it takes you down all these weird paths.
Which was now coming up to almost 5 years ago.
But the reason I said it here locally was I said, remember when you were in the studio for a year straight?
Yeah, dude.
And Darren and Marty weren't here.
No.
Because, again, we were out of the office by and large. And Brent was here.
I never left.
You never left. You just stayed here for a year straight.
I pretty much did.
Yeah.
When everyone else got sent home, I was
Stayed.
like the only person in the building.
Hunkered down.
They had to give me a special card. So
Me too. I still have that special
yeah,
card.
so do I, in case I got pulled over getting gas.
I think I finally got rid
Here
of
we
it.
go. The iHeartMedia Emergency Response Team.
Yeah.
James Albert Russell.
Why would they put you on the
critical
emergency
operations
response team?
employee?
Yeah, especially you weren't even running the board at the time. That's the only reason I got mine.
No, I was running the board.
Yeah,
They're-
there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I didn't. We didn't start until after the pandemic.
Have I ever mentioned how upset I was that the NCAA tournament was shut down that year?
No,
That's all you
I don't
talk
think you
about.
have. You should get it out. Don't
Should
let
I-
it build up.
Have you?
By all means, we have
reference
enough
that?
time. Just say whatever you
That's
want.
what I want to do when we get back into 2020, whatever the year is.
2020,
Like
whatever.
when we
get back.
when we get back,
Yes, when we get back,
all together.
when we're
like
all
we're going
together.
someplace.
Yes, that's right.
Well, here's
What?
like this is going to be not our last show together for the year, but one of our last shows because we'll be back before
Yeah, I'm
New
off
Year's.
a couple of days. You're off a couple of days.
Yeah.
Brent is here. Yes, we're back for New Year's Eve,
And New
but
Year-
and
the-
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, the day before New Year's Eve, which
I'm
is
sure everyone will be
interesting.
tuned in New Year's
Oh,
Eve
yeah.
at 6 p.m.
That's a great schedule.
But here's the thing: when we get back in 2025, here's my big goal for the year.
Okay.
Like a lot of people have like big aspirations. I'm gonna, run a marathon, or I'm gonna get a new job, or I'm gonna stop smoking. Right? Like real good goals.
Yeah.
I want to start a John's front page segment at 2:45. We have 100 hours a day. We have the
Correct.
longest show in American history.
Don't complain.
I'm not. I'm just saying that we need more. I'm not complaining.
That sounds like a little bit. That sounds like a little complaint to me, John. People have real jobs out there. We talk sports on the radio
That's
for a
what I'm
living.
saying. Listen,
What?
I'm not even. No,
What?
I take people a lot behind the curtain, but I have been told a lot in radio.
About?
Not complaining about your job in radio.
I'm not complaining about my
I
job.
know. So I'm saying that I'm not complaining.
I'm just curious as to, Jim's back page is filled with things that are 10 billion light years away in space that will kill us eventually.
What's going to be in the
and,
front page?
Crumble cookies.
Net
and-
rankings.
Yeah.
and
So front page. Nobody cares about Jim's back page. So I want to. I want to equal that out by
Hey,
having
guys,
a
in
segment that
vegan
nobody cares
news-
about me.
I
Did a
actually
major development in tofu today, guys.
Did you do a back page? Yes. No, because we had the
No, we had
short
a
show.
short show.
It's the big Raiders game.
Yeah.
I don't know if they won or lost.
We had a quote short show.
Right. 3 hours.
Um.
But what do you think about John's front page?
Well, okay, great, but like Brent said, what is on the front page?
Well, the bar isn't so incredibly high that I have to like top something.
Well, the front page usually means like the number one story of the day. Back page stuff, you're right. It's just all
Well, it
the
doesn't
stuff
have
on
to
the
be
back page.
Front page. It could just be John-isms.
So what? Johnisms?
Yeah, like things John likes.
Why don't we just call it that?
Things John likes.
No, Johnisms.
Or Johnisms or things things John. I kind of like things John likes.
I like Johnisms.
Instead of John's front page.
Yeah. I like Johnisms.
70470, start it with team. What would you name it? But yeah, like a segment where I can maybe go a little deeper in the portal. Maybe I go a little deeper with the metrics. Maybe I spend a little bit of time on realignment. Maybe I go off the beaten path and reference G League, San Diego Clippers. Yeah, maybe I mention Jaden Ledee, what he's doing right now. Maybe I touch on Malachi Flynn.
Okay.
I mean, again, it's not like the bar is so high.
The show does not have a bar.
That's what I'm saying. So I feel like I can at least clear that non-bar.
You can walk
with
over
my
the imaginary bar.
Segment. That's what I'm saying, dude. So again, that's my 2025 goal. What's your 2025 goal for the show?
For the show?
For the show.
It's a great question, John.
I'll tell you in 2026.
I'll tell you the day before 2025.
Okay. So you're going to think on that?
Yeah.
By the way, the 3-year anniversary of Jon and Jim. You know the day?
It's only been 3 years.
I know. It feels like
it's been
decades.
10 years,
It's
dude.
Decades.
3 years?
3 years of Jon and Jim, not wrap up, yada, yada.
Let me guess. January 11th?
Oh, my. It's like we're not even. I'm done with you.
January 10th?
Give me a new host.
January
10th. No, 10th.
Okay.
You were right.
That's close.
You don't even know that?
I was close.
Do you know who was on the first ever show?
I
don't fully.
Was it like
Ephraim Salam was on the show? Maybe Kevin, Ephraim.
Oh yeah, I think we had Kevin on.
I don't really know. I don't even know how we could find out, truthfully, because I don't even think that audio exists.
Do you know what? Probably we just had to find it. Do you know what the 3rd-year anniversary gift is for the theme?
Oh, I got you. Like there's the paper and there's
Yes.
silver and there's gold.
What is it?
Divorce papers.
Yeah. Can we get those
Right.
for each other?
The traditional gift theme for year 3, leather.
Leather.
Jim would say, "How you doing?
How you
Okay.
doing?
Yeah,
How you
leather.
doing?
All
Want some
right.
leather chaps?
January 10th, 2025.
Yeah?
Be here.
Just right there. Leather chaps, baby.
Be here beginning at 2 p.m.
Happy anniversary with the leather.
You won't want to miss that show.
No, you won't.
January 10th. All right.
I might miss it.
The big trade today, Cody Bellinger to the Yankees for a reliever. Now, again, they freed up all this money because they didn't sign Juan Soto, so maybe that ends up working in their favor. We'll find out in 2025. And you're thinking, well, Cody Bellinger, Padres need an outfielder. You know, that would be a nice option, right? I mean, Bellinger a year ago with the Cubs in New York had a good enough year. You know, it wasn't a perfect year by any standards, but he had a good 2023 and he had a relatively good 2024. The issue is he makes $27.5 million. So that was now honestly, you look at his 2024, Jim, 18 homers, 78 RBIs, 751 OPS, kind of blah. Wasn't it? Like they're bouncing on those numbers. They're betting on those numbers to bounce back to 2023. Would be my guess. It's not a flyer deal at $27 million, but they're going to need it to be better than that, right? 750 OPS isn't all that much to write home about.
I mean, Yankee Stadium plays perfectly for a guy like Cody Bellinger. Subplot to this whole thing that we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah.
So Cody Bellinger's wife used to date Giancarlo Stanton.
That's kind of weird.
So that's going to be interesting dynamic. Do you think that they're going to like dub themselves like the Eskimo brothers?
No. I don't.
Do you have any idea what that means?
Well, I saw it on Twitter, which is where you got it from. But
well, I actually didn't.
You use that. That came from your brain.
I have 1,000% used the term Eskimo bros before.
On air?
Just right now.
Yeah, exactly. 5 seconds ago.
Because if you knew what it was, you probably would cringe and tell me not to say it.
You probably shouldn't say it. Hence my reaction.
Well, you know what, John? I said it.
You did say it.
And it's not a. It's
By
not,
the way,
it's not a cuss word.
they're not the only teammates to have dated the same woman.
Oh yeah,
correct.
Oh,
now
100%,
again, Bellinger's married, so maybe that's a little different.
There's 1,000% been times.
Like there's examples. There's a lot of examples.
There's some maybe
of
like
players dating the same women.
Yes.
Now, again, being married, do you think that's weird in the clubhouse? You walk
married,
in,
it could be.
or is
Dating,
it just like,
dating, it's fine, whatever. But married,
but it wasn't like a secret, I guess, right? Like it was public knowledge that she dated Giancarlo Stanton, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not like he cheated on her with him.
Yeah, like it was public knowledge. You're now looking up to see if you're going to get fired.
no, I'm not. I just wanted to give you the exact definition of what Eskimo Brothers is.
Let's hear it. This is perfect.
When two males acknowledge having been intimate with the same female and remain on good terms, the men are now bonded by having shared the same igloo at one time or another.
Well, we don't know the level of the relationship.
What do you mean?
We don't know what happened between Giancarlo and his wife.
I mean, they were dating, John.
Might have been holding hands type situation. They were dating previously?
That's what I just said.
But I didn't know the extent of it.
Like full on dating,
but
bro.
The reason I think it's okay, hear me out, is they were full on. If anything, maybe it's more weird for Stanton than it is for Bellinger. Because he dated a woman that then later got married to a teammate.
I don't know, man. If you dated Aaron before me, bro, and vice versa with Kristen, you know how awkward.
Vice versa hasn't happened. It's
You know
not two women, two guys.
No, I'm just saying if out of both of us, I was the one that dated Kristen before you.
I'd be cool with it.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
I mean, again, people have. Here's the thing we forget.
Like what?
Here's the thing we forget. Unless there's some rare examples of this, but what we forget, Jim, is that before you met Aaron, Aaron existed.
Yeah, but
before Aaron met you, you existed.
Exactly, 100%. But existed like in my mind with other people that I can't even like picture. If I'm standing in the same room with somebody and we're like on the same team or we work together, come on, man. I don't know. Dating, okay, it's whatever. But when that person becomes your like spouse.
But is it weirder for Bellinger? But Bellinger dated her and she became his wife after Giancarlo Stanton dated her. So it's certainly not Stanton's fault. You see what I'm saying? Like Bellinger came after Stanton dated her.
What?
I don't know.
No, the thing is this.
Who's it weirder for is what I'm asking. It's weirder for his wife.
It's weirder for Cody Bellinger. Yes.
I don't know if it'd be that weird for either one of them. They're adults. It's not like they're in high school where it's like every time he comes in the clubhouse and you're like, hey, how's your wife, bro? They ain't going to do that stuff.
Am I curious about like what that relationship is like day one of spring training in the Grapefruit League? Like, hey, bud. I mean, I don't know. What are you looking up?
I'm looking up the dynamic of this relationship.
You think Stanton and Bellinger don't have a good relationship?
No. The dynamic of the relationship between Cody Bellinger's now wife and Giancarlo Stanton's former girlfriend.
Well, I'm pretty sure if they hated each other, they would have made the trade and be like, oh, hey, we're going to bring your wife's mortal enemy into the clubhouse.
They wanted an extra hour.
Exactly.
So they wanted 4 hours. This is what you get.
So hold on, let me put this here.
You're on like Sportskeeda.
Stop it.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm not. I'm just looking up the dynamic. So prior to dating Bellinger, Chase, his now wife, dated Giancarlo Stanton in 2018.
Of 2018, dude. That's a different world.
And those two have been dating as recently as 2019. Bellinger and now wife Chase Bellinger started dating in the summer of 2020.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, okay, but maybe the last person that his now wife was with Giancarlo Stanton.
Okay, and that's fine.
That's a follow up right there. I don't know. Maybe I would be like not weirded out by it, but it would be one of those things that I would think about.
There's no time limit on this. You wouldn't be like, oh God, you dated her in middle school? No way.
That was like a year before.
Like if it was like pretty recently to when they started dating. So Giancarlo Stanton dated Bellinger's wife from 2018 to 2019. Bellinger then started dating her starting in 2020.
Yeah.
And then they got married. Now they have 2 kids.
Okay.
So, like, I mean,
I think it's all good.
I think it's all good too. I'm just saying, interesting. You think they go up to the clubhouse? They go, bro, what's up, dude?
I think they're probably very cordial, would be my guess. But I don't know the answer. I mean, this has become a huge story now. All right, on the other side, we're going to hear from Ken Rosenthal, the latest on the Dylan Cease trade market. We're here until 6 p.m. We have auto show tickets to give away. They wanted 4 hours. It's Jon and Jim. Hey guys, it is Jon and Jim for our friends over at Hamul Casino. It's a great time to get out there, holiday season, and you can join them at Hamul every Monday this month, December. You have a chance to win luxury handbags, top brands, Louis Vuitton, Versace, and more. They have 10 winners every hour, 7, 8, 9 p.m. Onyx players receive an extra $100 in cash bonus. Plus, one lucky winner each hour gets the opportunity to pick a purse. This is packed with cash up to $25,000, and you'll get to keep the purse.
Yeah, you can keep a luxury purse with $25,000 in cash. And then after that, you can head on over to Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, Loft 94, or their poker room to watch all the sporting action that they have. NBA, the NBA Cup tonight. NFL, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, all action on Sunday. College football playoffs coming up, college basketball as well. They have it all for you at Hamul Casino.
They really do. You got to get there New Year's as well. New Year's Eve, they've got the holographic New Year's party. You can celebrate in style. They're going to kick off festivities New Year's Eve at noon with $20 free play for everyone. Don't miss a moment of the action. Make it an unforgettable New Year's celebration at Hamul.
Yeah, you can celebrate New Year's at Hamul Casino. You can win luxury purses and handbags at Hamul Casino, $25,000 in cash, and watch all the sporting events that they have. Also, they have amazing dining experiences, Emerald Chinese cuisine, Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, Loft 94, their amazing steakhouse. They have it all. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
All right, San Diego State Cal, Saturday at 7:30 from San Jose. Pre-game coverage at 6:30. 10 11 on the call. 7:30. On the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 7. We briefly touched on this earlier. I want to hear Ken Rosenthal again, Brent, if you have it. This is Ken Rosenthal. He's talking about the Baltimore Orioles.
And Dylan Cease.
And really where the Orioles turn right now, because there's free agent options like Corbin Burns. Obviously, they're not a big market team, but they have new ownership and they've won.
They've spent so far this offseason, I want to say upwards of $60 million with Gary Sanchez and Tyler O'Neill already.
Which is $60 million more than the Padres.
Tyler O'Neill, his contract is kind of similar to what I think Profar is looking for.
Oh, interesting.
3 years, around $50 million maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Gary Sanchez signed for a 1-year deal. But anyway.
All right, so they've spent a little bit, but again, they haven't done the big ticket Corbin Burns. But this is Ken Rosenthal on the Orioles and where they turn, and then hear what he has to say about Dylan Cease.
First of all, I don't know what their range is under their new ownership. It's impossible to say. They have taken over and they haven't done anything big yet. They haven't shown any hesitation on certain players like Tyler O'Neill, but at the same time, they've not gone here. Now, maybe they'll never go to that level, and this is still a small market team by baseball's definition. It's still a team that probably shouldn't be spending $250 million on Corbin Burns based on their revenues, unless the owner decides he wants to do a little Steve Cohen. So I don't expect them to do Burns, and I don't know that Mike Elias would advise them doing Burns as he tries to manage the payroll, but there are other ways to go. Look at Cease, for example. Last offseason, they trade for Corbin Burns. They traded Joey Ortiz, who looks like he's going to be a really good player, and DL Hall, who still has a chance to be a good pitcher, as well as the 34th pick. They still have enough to take a similar shot at Cease. It's a 1-year thing, just like it was with Burns, but they have players that they're not going to be able to play in the major leagues. There's too many of them, position prospects in particular. So I can see them going that route, and that would be okay. But as far as what the problem is with regard to the free agent market, I'm not exactly sure.
I love how that cuts off. So what we're learning is that Cease is an option via trade that is more cost effective, obviously, than Corbin Burns, is what he said. That's the general point here.
Yeah, but then you're put in the same situation if you're the Baltimore Orioles, where you traded for Corbin Burns, my bad. Corbin Carroll's not even a pitcher, idiot. Corbin Burns, and you only had him for 1 year, and you lost him for nothing. If you trade for Dylan Cease, again, you could have him for 1 year and lose him for nothing.
Wait, what are we talking about? Corbin Burns isn't available via trade.
No.
Is that what you just said? I thought you said.
No. What did I say?
I thought you said you could lose him after 1 year.
I was talking about Dylan Cease.
You said Burns, though.
They lost Burns, the Orioles did.
Right. But I'm saying, well, what if they...
I was saying, if you traded for Dylan Cease...
Right.
Listen.
Yes.
If the Orioles trade for Dylan Cease...
Right.
And they don't re-sign Dylan Cease, or they don't give him a long-term contract, they're doing the same thing they did with Corbin Burns. Traded prospects to Corbin Burns, lose him after a year, don't get anything in return. Trade prospects for Cease, lose him after a year, don't get anything in return.
Right.
You know, like they probably are looking for something more long-term.
Yeah.
And you could get that with Dylan Cease, but Dylan Cease also, if he puts up another good season, could be looking at north of $200 million contract.
But are you looking for the long play, or are the Orioles kind of like Padres light or Padres heavy, and they're just trying to circumvent and navigate and play for the now, but don't spend $1 zillion doing it? Like, you're getting cute to play for the now with caliber players of Corbin Burns and Dylan Cease's stature, if that makes sense. Yeah. So how do you get Dylan Cease if you're the Orioles? You trade for him. You don't extend him. You can't afford it. How do you get players of Corbin Burns caliber? You trade for them.
Yeah.
You don't extend them.
But also, from the Padres' perspective, is they can't pull a trigger on the Cease deal anytime soon.
Right. That is true. I agree with that. That would be very odd to me.
So, you know, if you are out there and you are 100% pro trade Dylan Cease, okay, I get it. But you're going to have to wait a bit. Like, that ain't happening anytime soon. And that's not something that Preller is looking to probably do at this moment in time. It's going to happen after Roki Sasaki Did you just get
No,
traded?
I'm left.
Oh,
and you're left too. On the other side,
I was like, what?
Who would you rather have the Padres sign? We have two names that we're going to share with you. And I'm taking this content right from Talking Friars, Ben Fadden himself. We've reached this point of the offseason. Who would you rather have the Padres sign, plus auto show tickets to give away and Jim's back page?
Oh my gosh!
It's next.
This update's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Baseball hot stove today. Yankees traded for outfielder Cody Bellinger from the Chicago Cubs for a prospect and cash. And the NBA Cup is almost underway in Las Vegas. 5:30 is the scheduled tip time there between the Bucks and the Thunder. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small businesses with over 30 coverage options and easy-to-use mobile app. Personalized discounts and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
right. Jim's back page coming up in about 10 or 15 minutes. We're here until 6 p.m. There was something I wanted to say. All right. Okay. What were we just? Oh, yeah. Ben Fadden talking about it. Okay.
That's the whole point.
So I forgot. Dude.
It was 2 minutes ago.
I don't.
You're making a big deal on it.
I was making a huge deal out of it. So listen, nobody produces. Listen, we produce a lot of podcasts. Now, are we producing more than Ben? Talking Friars.
Probably not. Considering the fact that we're going to be talking about something that only he would do.
So he just tweeted.
This is the part of the offseason that we didn't reach for the
This is where
Padres.
we are, folks.
Yeah.
This is where we are when they've signed one player to a major league deal, Tyler Wade. Bernard Jagren. This is from Talking Friars 7 minutes ago on X. Who would you rather have the Padres sign? Something like that.
Oh, I like
Corbin
this.
Burns, like extend out C's.
George Profar or
Yeah, okay.
I'll
play that game. I'll play that game. Who would you rather have the Padres sign? This is the new ownership. Martin Maldonado or Elias Diaz. Like, neither cares. One of them, it's an afterthought. Play. I mean, after the starting catch,
I did not think that we would be mentioning the names Martin Maldonado, Elias Diaz today on the show.
Neither did I. I mean, I guess actually what he has illustrated is that it's very bland vanilla offseason. I mean, maybe those first points they have the money.
Well, I mean, they need a catcher. Like, there's no like a whole lot of JT Realitos out there.
No, they have a catcher that will be playing.
They don't have a catcher playing for them. Like left fielder playing for them.
Like Luis Campusano has to be a part of it unless there's a trade. Who's in it? He's one of their two starting catchers. You can say he's the secondary catcher, the backup catcher. If he's healthy and the Padres have their way, he would make 70 of their 160 starts. Right? He'll be the part-time starter, and then there'll be another. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
You had to stop yourself.
I did.
Because you're like,
I don't even care.
I'm literally, I don't care.
I don't care.
Martin Maldonado, I don't care.
I don't care.
Elias Diaz, who gives a crap? Are they going to sign Roki or not? Are they going to trade Dylan Cease or not?
That's all we care about.
Are they going to re-sign Profar or not? All right?
Yeah, don't show me that, like,
yeah. What are we
show
doing?
me the finished product.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Martin Maldonado.
Elias Diaz, they had him. Didn't they have him last year?
Right, they did. Martin Maldonado doesn't even care about Martin Maldonado.
No, he's not tweeting that out.
Elias Diaz is not sitting there being like, man.
You think he's looking at, like, you think these guys are going to X? Like, let me search for my name.
Like, oh, I'm going to poll today.
About me.
I'm going to poll today. I hope I win. Honey, I'm in a poll.
You wouldn't believe this. Two things I want to share with you. Did you
text your friends to vote for me?
Honey, two things. Did you see Bellinger got traded to the Yankees? That could be weird. And also, I'm in a Twitter
That could be
poll.
weird. Did you know the backstory there?
Oh, man.
Wait till those guys hang out in the locker room together.
Stop. Can we hear from Dan Campbell?
Oh, by the way, pause before we get to that. James has given me a great idea for like show goals for 2025.
All right. Yeah.
I want our audio to work on YouTube.
Yeah, and I want to put on 40 pounds of muscle. I want to lift 225.
Ever happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's
asking
I want to
for
run
too
a 40
much.
a mile.
That's a goal. It can be a goal, but it never will happen.
Yeah. All right, Dan Campbell was on the radio this morning. Listen to Dan Campbell, who, by the way, goes on the radio. Now we've cut out the curses, right?
Yeah, the Lions actually, from their own account.
Okay, put this out, but they took out the curses.
They took out the two F-bombs. Yeah.
I see why Dan Campbell works in the NFL and why he's had so much success because I've listened to this. Take a listen.
We can't let these injuries be in vain, man. All of those players helped us get to the point we're at. They helped us these last four helped us get to 12 wins. And we owe it to them to finish this thing out. And that's how I view it. And so it means there's another opportunity for other guys, and look, I don't, what happens is, you win 11 in a row, and you lose and then the sky falls. And I hate to say it, but we're not going to be able to win 11 in a row again for the rest of this season. We're just not going to be able to do it. And, you know, what happens is you get used to eating filet, and I'm talking to all of us, and well, everything's good. Life's good, you know, but you forgot what it was like when you had nothing and you ate molded bread, you know, and it was just fine. And it gave you everything you needed. And sometimes you got to get punched in the mouth and remember what it used to be like to really appreciate where you are. And we'll do that. And so we got a bad taste in our mouth. We got kicked around the other day. We lost a few guys. And you know what? It's exactly what we needed. This is exactly what we needed. So we're going to bounce back. We're going to respond. We got guys that are about to have an unbelievable opportunity here. And we will play the game any way needed to win.
So
that's us after every show.
Right. Just hyping ourselves up.
Yeah, no, like we got to pick ourselves back up. That was bad, but
that was bad.
Yeah,
and we need to be better. We're not going to win 11 shows in a row,
right.
But so that was via 97.1, the ticket.
Okay.
And if you watch the video of these two hosts sitting there listening to Dan Campbell,
yeah,
he drops 2 F-bombs in this interview.
Right.
And the first F-bomb he drops, the host, and I immediately got like PTSD or like I empathize with them.
Sure.
Because I'm like, oh man, it's the exact same reaction I would make. The host freaks out and like,
well, don't they dump it?
No, he dumped it. But
so which means it doesn't go over the radio.
But it was on a YouTube stream.
Okay.
And it didn't go over the radio, but it went over the YouTube stream. You could hear it.
And then the second curse probably does, but you can't dump back to back.
You can dump back to back. You just have to make sure that it loads enough time.
Ew.
And you got to be like on the button, right? So if someone curses consecutively,
right. You got to be on the button.
You got to be, yeah, it's hard.
It depends how fast it ramps back up. Like the delay in here is slow. Next door in Kogo,
really fast.
Super fast.
Yeah. Well, not many people
I
are.
don't even understand the delay. It's a whole nother conversation. How are we on delay? How can we dump out audio, 8 seconds of audio, and then how could they build back a delay?
Well, it dumps it out.
Science.
Yeah. So right now we're talking on the radio. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, it's in real time. But if you are listening to us on either the iHeartRadio app, which is very slow, or
nice, good plug.
No, you get my point. Or in the car on 760 AM. What I just said right now is like
8 seconds.
8
behind.
seconds. No, ahead. So like the person is just now.
How is it ahead?
If I said chicken nuggets, and now it takes 8 seconds from the car for someone to say chicken nuggets.
It was in the car 8 seconds ahead of you saying it.
No,
like, how
dude.
How does the car know what you're going to say?
No, that's not what
No, I understand the concept of the dump. I'm saying, how does it load back up? I don't know.
This conversation was about Dan Campbell. We're talking about the dump button.
Dan Campbell has been unbelievably successful, and I think he's very motivational. I think obviously his team really rallies behind him as a leader.
Right.
And you've sensed that from day one.
Yes.
Even year one, they didn't win. His first year, they didn't win. From that point on, it's been all like, it's been good, right? They've just gotten better every year.
Well, the one thing is they've drafted incredibly well.
Yeah.
At almost every key position. Secondary, linebacker, edge rushers, defensive tackles, offensive line, key offensive weapons. They have drafted well in every facet of their football team. And that goes a long way when you draft well, because when you draft well, you could have a really good run.
NFL coaching does matter.
Oh,
you know,
it
the
does.
difference,
It
like
does.
you said, the margins between good and bad can be 7 points.
But also, too, like the roster they have created is, when healthy, probably the best roster in football.
And they've come a long way from Matt Millen.
Drafting wide receivers every round.
You're right. Yeah, exactly.
Round.
That's what I was just going to say. Draft wide receivers 6 years in a row.
I mean, they had no history. They didn't win a playoff game in over 30 years before they won one last year, I think. It's like 91 to 2023. That's a long time.
But like the players that they've drafted, like Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra, Jahmyr Gibbs, Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, Branch, a couple of their linebackers, the defensive tackle, unfortunately, I think he tore his ACL, but their kicker that has made multiple game-winning field goals for them this year. Like other players on that team that are big-time pieces that they've drafted. Jameson Williams, and then getting Jared Goff to manage the whole thing. Like They're a really good football team. Unfortunately, the injuries might come back to bite them, but Dan Campbell is a master motivator. I can tell you that.
He absolutely is. All right, call right now if you want a free 4-pack of tickets to the 2025 San Diego International Auto Show. 877-767-4760. Caller 5, you're going. We have a free 4-pack of tickets to the auto show. 877-767-4760 to caller 5. One of the most anticipated events for both new car buyers and enthusiasts, and where the cars are the stars. Other special displays and exhibits expected to return include Electric Avenue, the Mobility Zone, classic cars, and more. Electric Avenue will be a focal point of this year's show, given the rapid growth of EV in San Diego, which is now third in the nation for EV adoption. Did you know that? A variety of EVs from automakers will be on display in one central location, and experts will be available to guide consumers as they personally consider if the time is right to go electric. I'll tell you what, my wife needs a new car. Car's 100 years old. Auto show tickets are also available now at sdautoshow.com. That's sdautoshow.com. Caller 5, you're going. 877-767-4760. Jim's back page next. Oh, where does the time go? Approaching 6 p.m. Back tomorrow at 2 p.m. What do you have for the show?
Well, we have Mark Neville.
Yeah, the holiday bowl. Love that.
As of right now, that's it, John.
All right. Well, I look forward to.
You won't listen to
No,
one
I will
second.
listen. I will absolutely listen.
And then giggle like this.
And then I'll text you and be like, what are you talking about?
Like, idiot.
No, I'm not going to say that. So, okay.
Got a long flight away? Got a long flight ahead of you
away?
tomorrow?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to fly to the North Pole.
Oh, nice.
Get things ready for the big guy.
Oh, okay.
Rules are rules.
Rules are rules.
Right.
Jones is still a big Santa Claus guy or no?
I mean, yeah, he's 5.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just asking.
No, he's like, I've done the math on it, Dad. No, he's 5. He thinks like Care Bears are.
I meant
real.
like, is this the time of his life where he is like
he's all in,
like
Here's the
all in
thing.
Santa Claus?
How about this? We opened up our trunk today.
Oh,
this
no,
is
there's
all
gifts.
on Kristen.
Oh, for
There's
sure.
wrapping paper, and he's a hawk. She opened it for 1 second. So, I gotta close it. It's like he's like,
toy.
Why is there wrapping paper in there? We're like, oh, we're giving it away. He's like, why?
He's so smart.
So he's like super
aware. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how old are you? You're 35 for forever.
Yes.
And you're still like, Santa's coming.
Right. I was 35 3 years ago when we started the show.
Right.
Do you and Kristen do like gifts for each other, or is it all about Jones now?
No, we do gifts.
What'd you get her?
Dude, we're on the radio.
She's not listening.
Probably true. I don't even think she has a car radio.
There's a 0% chance.
What are we saving AM radio for?
Yeah, exactly. No, I've gotten some things.
Like what?
They're good.
What have you gotten her so far?
I can't tell you on the air.
Because you haven't gotten her anything
No,
yet.
I have.
Okay.
I have.
What is it?
It rhymes with lift.
Huh?
Gift. I've gotten her gifts.
Oh, gifts. Okay.
Yeah, no, we do gifts. You better do gifts. You don't have kids. And you've been married for like 5 minutes.
Yes, we did gifts.
You did or you're doing?
We are doing gifts.
Is it like one of those things where the limit's like $10 or
no? But the problem is like
You want a white elephant?
Yeah.
No,
With 2 people?
The problem is like, so getting the gifts from Amazon or wherever, they show up to the front door.
Yeah, it's true.
And a lot of times it like on the box shows what it is.
Send it to here, 9660.
You know, you can get, if you put like it's a gift, they'll put a generic label on there so it doesn't give it away.
The 2 things that I got her, on the box, it showed what it was. So that was a little difficult to hide. So whatever.
There is a vacuum inside.
No, I did not buy a vacuum.
You didn't buy what was that book Rich bought his wife about like a weight loss book?
Oh no.
I heard that, yeah. Yeah, that probably wasn't a great idea.
Yeah,
You
that's,
can go wrong.
that's
Listen,
a gold medal of
you can
bad gifts.
go wrong. Yeah. Real quick.
Because Erin at first told me that she didn't want to do gifts this year.
No, what do you mean
It's
this
a
year? You
trick.
haven't even been married yet.
I'm single and I know that's a trick.
I'm like, no.
Trap.
Now
Exactly.
again,
It's a trap.
we are traveling for the holidays. We're going to North Carolina, and
You gonna go see the Belichicks?
yeah, we're gonna hang out with Bill.
You can stop by Norfolk.
We're not doing presents for like the family. We're not bringing stuff because we're flying, so it's hard to like bring presents with you when you fly. So we're just whatever. And the family, her mom and dad bought us the tickets to North Carolina, so that was like their gift to us. But yeah, at home, she was like, "Let's not do gifts." I'm like, "No, we're doing gifts.
Oh, you're doing gifts.
We're doing gifts."
Are they where are they? Near Charlotte?
No, they're closer to Myrtle Beach.
How are you getting there?
Dude,
That sounds like a disaster.
we're flying into Charlotte and then
That's nowhere near Myrtle Beach.
renting a car and driving.
No.
It's a 3-hour drive.
Oh my gosh. What are you thinking?
Well, it's either that
Fly to Myrtle Beach.
or, well, we're taking Bentley with us.
Well, I'm not saying have Bentley as the pilot.
No, of course not.
Yeah, just
Dude,
yeah, you've
I-
done the whole map.
I would have done it, but Aaron, when it comes to Bentley and
renting
flying,
a car.
yeah, we've already done it.
Holy moly, that's a long day.
It is well. What we're doing is she has friends that are in Charlotte, so we are going to stay with them when we get in on Saturday night, and then leave and be there Sunday afternoon.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it's not like we're gonna just immediately hop off the plane and drive for 3.5
Go straight
hours.
to the Hornets game.
Yeah,
Panthers.
Yeah.
All right. Are we? I don't think we're doing back page.
I got a story.
I don't even need the open. Let's hear a story. No open.
Okay.
Yeah,
Taco Bell's adding chicken nuggets to their menus nationwide, John.
Is this a repeat?
Well, I mean, it's not a repeat. It's just kind of telling you that Thursday will be the day that nationwide chicken nuggies will be available at Taco Bell.
You know the interesting thing I saw in that article today about that? Did you see the dipping sauce that comes with it?
Oh, so I did not.
Fiery ranch.
Okay.
Is that good or bad? That's interesting. I like ranch.
It's worth trying.
Yeah,
I like ranch too. A little spicy ranch.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'm on board.
The price for the chicken nuggies will be $3.99 for a 5-piece.
Jeez.
That's a bucko.
That's a lot.
Kind of 80 cents.
And then $6.99 for a 10-piece and 2 sauces. Combos are also going to be available.
When are they going to have the 50-piece like Wendy's?
I guess you could just buy 5 10 pieces.
Yeah. Beginning on January 10th, 2025, customers can order a 5-piece a la carte nugget for $1 on the DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Grubhub app.
To celebrate the 3-year anniversary of Jon and Jim, we've unveiled.
Perfect.
Yeah, you can get it on the DoorDash and then pay $15 delivery fee.
Chicken nuggies. And McDonald's, John, is now dropping Sonic the Hedgehog 3 Happy Meals.
Oh, really? With the other dude?
With all the characters from the movie. Knuckles and Tails and Sonic. And I think, who's the bad guy in this movie? Shadow.
There's a bad guy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's
They're
always
hedgehogs.
There's always a bad guy.
Each Happy Meal comes with a special Sonic box and sticker sheet along with an individual toy.
They had Dr. Robotnik, John. You don't remember that?
No, I remember.
Yeah, but you played the game. He was the person that put all the animals in the little robot things. You had to save them.
Dude, I might hit up a McDonald's for a Happy Meal and get a Sonic toy.
Tonight? Or when's that available?
Tonight. It's available now.
It's available now?
Yes.
First thing you do when you land in Charlotte.
In Canada.
Yeah.
In Australia.
Right. Exactly. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. That's what you got for the back page?
That's what I got. Oh, one last thing. If you were looking for a gift this holiday season, available now, you can get new M&M scented candles.
Well, I got a little bit of a breaking news story for you.
What do M&Ms smell like?
I don't know.
They smell good.
But they're all chocolate.
Do they have a smell?
I got a John's front page.
I got milk chocolate, dark chocolate. I got peanut. I got caramel. I got peanut butter, holiday mint, caramel cold brew, crunchy cookie, and strawberry shake. What do you got?
No one cares.
What do you got? Huh?
Kansas.
Oh, God.
Is expected to play the Players Aero Festival next year in Las Vegas. They were scheduled to play the Radio Children's. They were scheduled to play the Radio Children's in San Diego. And Jeff Goodman, Kansas.
I have something.
In the Players Aero event in Las Vegas next year.
I have something. That's a program that's hard.
Share it on the other side.
Kirk Cousins has been benched for Michael Penix.
I have something. The Lions have drafted really well. Look at the kicker.
I have something. Elias Diaz or Martin Maldonado.
We'll talk about tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the latest Yankees impact.
Yeah, more on Martin Maldonado tomorrow.
Brent and Jim, I'm John.